Sabres in Game 7. Enjoy the game, everybody.
I'm with a Habs fan. Heading into the next game, what are you hoping for?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's about winning battles, winning draws, and winning tickets.
Tickets?
Yeah, Desjardins has this contest to win tickets. You put your name in, give yourself a chance, and you live with the result, you know?
You heard it, Desjardins members. Enter the Take Your Shot contest for a chance to win 2 tickets to the next Habs home game. Contest details and entry at desjardins.com/Habs. Conditions apply.
Are you looking for an insurance broker, passionate and professional? With 65 years of experience, SO Insurance has proven to be totally dedicated to serving its clients. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, their brokers have one priority: to find you the best offer available to insure your home, car, and all other types of motorized vehicles. Call 833-370-2704 or visit sor.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SO Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Canadiens hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
In just one moment. The goaltending matchup is the same. It's Ukko Pekka in just one moment. The goaltending matchup is the same. It's Ukko Pekka and Jakob Dovish for Montreal. The scratches are all the same.
Game 7 victory in franchise history. When it concerns the Canadiens, well, you could take your pick. Maybe your hero was Yvon Lambert on May 10th, 1979 to cap off the comeback versus Boston. But perhaps it was a 20-year-old Claude Lemieux scoring .555 into overtime to eliminate Hartford and keep the Canadian Stanley Cup run in '86 alive. Quite possibly it could have been as recently as 2 weeks ago when Alex Newhook scored from behind Vasilevsky to steal the series for Tampa Bay. Well, the names and faces might change. One thing will always remain the same about Game 7. Anybody can be a hero just for one day. Game 7, Habs and Sabres for the final time, coming up next on Habs Hockey on TSN 690. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Habs Hockey on TSN 690. And for the second time in this 2-round playoff run, we find ourselves at the terminal destination of the series in Game 7 on the road. Victor Finley with JP O'Connor on the call tonight. JP, thrilled to have you alongside. This is your first Game 7 as a color commentator, though you have been in this position before as a player.
I have indeed, and it's nerve-rattling at times, but as both teams take the ice, there is one thing that is for sure, is that you can turn this into a negative and let your emotions get the best of you, or you can look at it as an opportunity. Lindy Ruff talked about that for the Sabres team in Game 6 in Montreal. Marty St. Louis today in his conference, very tight-lipped, but he flipped the script and said very much the same thing. Middle of May, end of round 2. This is an opportunity for growth. It's an opportunity to take the next step for the Canadiens all the way into the Eastern Conference Final.
Often throughout this series, JP, we've seen the winning team stand pat with their lineup and the losing team make adjustments. That's going to be the case here again in Game 7. No changes for the Buffalo Sabres, but Oliver Kapanen will be reintroduced into the lineup for Montreal, and what a position for him to be in. Coming off a stretch of games here where he's been a healthy scratch, he will dive headfirst into Game 7.
Well, he's going to do it with a couple of talented wingers as well, with Bolduc on his left and Kirby Dach on his right. I would look to Kapanen to come out. Obviously, he's going to have a huge push. He's got plenty of energy. That we know. It's built up. But being alongside Bolduc and Dach, two guys with a little bit of offensive skill, that could be a bit of an X factor for the Canadiens this evening.
Saw Oliver Kapanen come in as it was a healthy scratch for most of the Olympics with Finland. Came into their bronze medal game and did not score, although it was a factor. And the Canadiens are hoping they can get something similar out of Kapanen today. That is the only lineup change for Montreal in terms of who is in and who is out, as the Montreal Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres will square off for the first time ever in a Game 7 between these two franchises. We will send it out now to KeyBank Center to get you ready and set to go with the American and Canadian national anthems.
We now ask that you please rise, if you are able, and remove your hats for the presentation of the colors by the Buffalo Police Honor Guard. And now the singing of O Canada and the Star-Spangled Banner, performed tonight by Doug Allen. O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Game 7, Montreal and Buffalo ready to go from KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. We will get you introduced to the starting netminders for tonight's contest, beginning with Buffalo and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who will go again for the Sabres. He became the 6th goalie in the history of the Stanley Cup playoffs to win an elimination game in relief. Doing so in Game 6. The last goalie to do it was Ilya Bryzgalov in Game 7 of the first round in 2014. And for the Montreal Canadiens, Jakub Dobeš will look to join Ken Dryden as the only other Habs rookie netminder to win 2 Game 7s in the same playoff run. Ken Dryden did it back with Montreal in 71 versus Boston, and again in the Stanley Cup Final versus Chicago. So, JP, stage is set. We can break this down in so many different ways. Look at all the numbers and stats we want to, but it all goes out the door in a winner-take-all Game 7.
Absolutely. Listen, the reality comes down to this. Who is going to capitalize on the opportunities? Mistakes are going to be made. Are you going to be able to keep them out of your net, or are you going to put them behind the goal line, behind Luukkonen this evening?
Sabres have won just 1 Game 7 in their franchise history. They're 1-6 all-time. Canadiens are looking to string together 2 Game 7 wins in the same playoff run, just like they did in 2010. Beating both Washington and Pittsburgh on the way to the Eastern Conference Final. As we are underway in Buffalo, Habs moving from right to left to start us off in Game 7. And the road whites, they'll play it into the Sabre zone. It is the Jake Evans line to start for Montreal as the puck comes all the way back to the Habs zone. It's going to be an early icing call here against Buffalo.
Was a better start for the Canadiens, who found themselves down 1-0 in Game 6. 30 seconds into the game, Marty St. Louis opts not to start his top line this evening and comes out with Newhook, Evans, and Demidov, who will take this face-off in the Buffalo zone.
And now they're going to put the Suzuki line out. After a quick shift, 27 seconds to start for that Evans line. Suzuki will try and win this face-off back. It's taken away by Buffalo. And Rasmus Dahlin will lift it to center.
It's got to be too many men.
And Montreal touch it here. And it does look like, JP, there's going to be an early penalty called.
Well, this is some of the nerves here, and we'll take a look to see if this does, in fact, get called. It's a bit of a clumsy shift change there. You can see Lindy Ruff talking to his bench.
Well, it doesn't look like it will get called, JP.
Boy, do they ever get away with this one early.
So I think they ended up calling that either a hand pass or an offside. But at any rate, we stay 5-on-5, and back into the Montreal zone it goes. Here's Caulfield. Plays it around Juraj Slafkovsky on the far side. Back behind the net for Hudson. Moved up to center ice. Slafkovsky far wing. Cross ice trying to spot Suzuki. Ends up hitting him, but he's offside at the Sabre blue line.
Well, let's talk about Slafkovsky quickly, as we know that last game at this point he was already -1, already had a huge fall into the boards, did not look comfortable at all as play continued after the puck was dropped at center ice, came back to the bench, sat there, was moving his leg back and forth, wasn't comfortable at all. Rough start, but he's going to have to use his body tonight.
Have steering in from center right in on Luukkonen. He's going to grab that for the whistle. And JP, we talk about how important the first goal is in Game 7s in particular. The Sabres have scored the first goal in 4 straight in this series.
Well, they have indeed. And listen, Montreal will be looking for it. It would be an ideal start for Montreal. It would be ideal for Buffalo. Whoever's going to get it will feel the positive energy that comes from it. But it's going to be a long game either way.
Habs off the draw. Here's Carrier from the line. That one bounces wide past Luukkonen. Far side Anderson. Steered down low for Alexandre Texier, who's out there with Anderson and Philip Deneau right now. Texier spins it in behind the net. Dahlin there to pick it off. Played to the line, not out. And now it does get by Carrier as the Canadiens control at center. We are a minute 30 into Game 7. Don't have a shot yet as the Habs go in behind their own net with Mike Matheson. And Oliver Kapanen steps onto the ice for the first time since Game 4 against Tampa Bay. He's got Bolduc and Doc with him as line mates tonight. Into the Buffalo zone we go. Here's a low shot bouncing around. Kapanen got his stick on it, and Luukkonen might have just made his first save of the night.
It keeps the puck alive as well.
Habs to the line. Here's Gooley. Moves it across, but it's an inaccurate pass that ends up at center. Arbor Jackeye will backtrack all the way into his own zone. Now rifled off the boards. Picked up by Peyton Krebs. And now fluttered off the glass to center by Connor Timmins. 17:35 to go in the first. Kapanen does get the first official shot in Game 7. As here goes Demidov for escape. Far side. Buffalo zone. To the corner. Demidov works it around. Near side. Hudson. Shot can't get it through. That one ricochets off of Josh Doan. Back to center. Habs play it in. Bowen Byram picks it up. Zips it through. Good pass. Found the mark. Here's Tuck. To the attacking zone. Looks to shovel that to the far side. Shot never got through. And the Habs give it away. Far side point. Byram. Near side for Power. Long shot. That doesn't get through traffic.
That's Doan and Tuck net front.
And this puck ends up out of play into the Montreal bench.
We see that recipe early on for Buffalo as they get the puck controlled deep in the Canadian zone. Puck goes from low to high, and it's just a walk along the blue line, just waiting for bodies to get in front. They try to throw it in on net. Puck drifts wide, but I want to come back to that last shift that we just saw from Arber Xhekaj, who gets put in a bit of an awkward situation. He gets the puck just outside of the Buffalo zone. He's forced to back up with it. He's skating backwards through the neutral zone. And what we've seen from Xhekaj in the past at times is maybe playing that puck in his backhand. Instead, makes the smart decision. It's a hard pass out of the zone, gets himself out of trouble.
Habs able to shovel it out to center here as Zach Benson goes all the way back into his own zone. He was a factor again in Game 6 now. 4 goals, 7 points in this playoff run for Buffalo. Sabres scooted out to center. It'll be picked up there by Alexandre Carrier. Down the far side, Carrier filters it in. Sabres get to it. And here they go to center. Tage Thompson moving in far side. Slips it down low. Benson behind the Montreal net. Taken away by Nick Suzuki. And he'll just pass it off behind his own net. Sabres in on the forecheck. Habs able to get it up to center, and it'll be shot in from the neutral zone by Jack Quinn. Habs start to center ice again. Suzuki drops it off. Habs will get a line change here. So they'll just sit on it with 15:42 to go in the first. No score yet in Game 7. Anderson throws it in off the backhand, and he'll go right after it in the far corner. Sabres zone. Habs win it. Here's Gooley out in front. Shot. Scores! Deflected in front. Off the shot from Gooley. It's Philip Deneau, and it's 1-0 Montreal in Game 7.
Starts on the forecheck. Josh Anderson, as usual, comes in with a full head of steam. He's got Byron in the corner, just muscles him off, and he feeds this puck gently over to Texier. He gets it on his backhand below the goal line. Texier out. This puck comes back to the point. Gooley with a smart heads-up play, and it goes in off of Dano's right skate. Unintentional. This goal should stand.
Bit of a hesitation here to see if the Sabres are going to possibly challenge that for kicking motion.
If you're going to challenge it, this is the right time early on in the game. Now, listen, you can say all you want. As you watch this play in slow motion, the right foot does come up, but this is a function of Dano trying to get his stick on it. As he turns his body, he can hear the crowd reacting to it, but this is just following through, and this goal is going to stand.
And it will be the first of the playoffs. First playoff goal in 18 playoff games for Philip Deneau. Gooley and Texier will draw the assists. And just like Game 7 versus Tampa Bay, it's a shot that was not going toward the net that gets redirected in, and the Habs take the lead. Just a second time in this series they've scored the first goal.
Well, Texier's been all over these types of plays, hasn't he? He had one go in off his skate in Game 5.
Habs chip it into the Sabre zone. Take it away by Buffalo, and they'll start up to center with Beck Malenstein. Near side, played in off the boards. Hudson back forth. Canadiens through center ice, far wing. Here's Newhook. He's bumped off the puck. So it comes in behind the Sabre net. Josh Doan on it. Back to center. Taken in over the Montreal line by Buffalo. Near side, McLeod dishes off. Up high, there's a shot from Doan. Pad save made by Dobish. Now near side, Dahlin to the line. Pass back over to McLeod. Hands off. Doan right side. Moved off the boards to the far wing. Dahlin up high for Samuelsson. Samuelsson tried to give it to Dahlin. It's given away. Here's Hudson charging down the ice. Tries a wrister. That's stopped by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
All kinds of speed coming up the ice with Hudson, but nobody is going to pull away from Dahlin in a race up the ice.
13:42 to go in the first. 1-0 Montreal. They'll play it in from center. Suzuki centers that. Little backhand try. That's stopped by Luukkonen as Cole Caulfield gets his first shot away in Game 7.
Defensive zone coverage important there for Montreal, just taking space away quickly. And it's a crossing pattern just inside the blue line. Newhook closes down, creates a turnover, and Hudson's off to the races.
Sharp start for Montreal. Philip Deneau with the first goal in Game 7 has it 1-0 Canadiens with 13:34 to go in the first on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
The Montreal Canadiens Fan Jam, presented by Lacache, comes to life for the playoffs. Be there for the biggest outdoor party in the city, featuring tattoos, a barber, food, drinks, and more. Rain or shine, join us at the Canadiens Plaza next to the Bell Center before home games only. Free admission, but first come, first served. Experience the playoff frenzy with the most passionate fans. Get all the details at playoffs.canadiens.com.
Abrysvo is an RSV vaccine. 60 or over? Talk to your healthcare provider about Pfizer's Abrysvo. Visit abrysvo.ca.
Canadiens hockey is presented by Essor Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. Essor Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
13:34 to go in the first period in Game 7 between Montreal and Buffalo. Habs already up 1-0. And one of the topics of conversation, JP, has been goaltending for the Sabres. They pull Lyon early in Game 6. It pays off, and they go back to Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen at home, who has had a .729 save percentage at KeyBank Center, a .959 save percentage on the road in this playoff run.
Just an incredible swing between the two, and it has been the same for most teams this year in the playoffs. For some reason, much better on the road.
Home teams this year in the Stanley Cup playoffs are 12-21. As the Sabres come ahead to center. Benson driving through the middle. Dishes off right side for Josh Norris. Plays it in behind the Montreal net. Trying to jam it loose. Side of the net. Picked up by Deneau. And he'll rifle this all the way down ice. That is an inaccurate pass. That'll go for an icing.
Well, listen, you're absolutely correct. This is off the mark, but the intention for this was to get Josh Anderson into a foot race, which is exactly what he wants to do. But there's a holdup at the blue line by the Sabres defenseman, and that becomes an obvious icing call. Philip Deneau, no doubt happy to participate early on in this game offensively. Had 5 assists through the playoffs coming in, but finally gets that 0 off the board and adds a 1 beside his name in the goal column.
Lane Hudson trying to lift it out to center. Able to get it there for Texier. Stripped away by Buffalo. Samuelsson feeds it up the left side. That's tipped in right to Dobich. Is going to be forced to cover here with Konsta Helenius bearing down.
Helenius coming in and a little bit of a snow spray up into Dobich's face. Nick Suzuki coming in, and could see him talking to Texier. Don't think it's an apology, but I think it's definitely a bit of a warning that he will heed. There's Buffalo complaining about too many men on the ice for the Montreal Canadiens. They've got a case to be made on that one as well.
No penalties yet in Game 7. 12:53 to go in the first. 1-0 Montreal Canadiens. Face-off glove side on Dobish. It's taken away by Buffalo, but Zucker couldn't handle it in front. He'll dish it off. It goes back to the line for Samuelsson. Long try goes behind the net for Zucker. He'll skate it out in front. Tried to sweep it around. It goes behind the net. Back to the near side boards. To the line for Samuelsson. Hands it off. Zucker left side. Down low for Dahlin. Keeps going all the way around the boards. Sabres trying to cycle it down low again. Quinn looking for Zucker. That's cut off by Texier. And he'll fly it all the way out to center ice.
That's one of the key points that we heard from Lindy Ruff. There's a lot of movement in the O zone. Buffalo buzzing around the Canadiens' net early on in this contest.
Sabres through center. Here's Ryan McLeod through the middle. He'll put a wrister high of the net. Picked up by Jack-Eye. Played up the far side, not out. Here's Connor Timmins. He'll siphon it cross ice. Power from the line. He'll play it in behind the Montreal net. Gooley's on it. To center, snaps it in. Carries all the way around, back to center ice, and Lane Hudson will be there for it. And it'll be taken away here by Owen Power. Up to the Montreal blue line. He gets no further. Canadiens take it away. Here's Dobson with 11:17 to go in the first. Habs leading this game 1-0. Lane Hudson to center. Dishes off. Far side for Deneau. But check that. That's Suzuki who fires it in. Comes around. Slavkovsky. Little backhand try. Trying to catch Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. And a pad save is made as Buffalo come back to center.
That left pad came down late.
Sabres in far side with Norris. Cut off along the boards. Centering try by Thompson. Taken away by the Habs and played all the way out through center. Sabres get some zone time here, but the Habs not giving up much on their own end right now. As Zach Metsa will carry to center ice. He'll play it in. He just got his first career playoff goal, his first career playoff game for Buffalo in Game 6 as the Sabres center it. This goes all the way through the two defenders to center. Now Buffalo in on the far side. Played around near side hash marks. Montreal zone. Malenstein and Greenway pile in. With Mattias Samuelsson trying to jam the puck free.
Well, this is where the fourth line can do a job, is just lean on you heavily if you're the Canadiens. You want to clear this puck out of the zone ASAP.
And they do exactly that, rolling it right to Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Sabres behind the net with Dahlin. He'll snap it ahead to center ice. Spotted Jason Zucker. Brought in through the middle, Quinn to the net, and the first big pad save of the night is made by Jakub Dobish. Good look for Jack Quinn as the Sabres keep it alive. This will be taken away by Texier. Back to center, Bowen Byram. Carries in far side. Cut off along the boards at Texier, back the other way. Texier moving in, drives behind the net, lost it as Montreal with Philip Deneau knock it down near side.
A physical battle along the wall from Texier with Owen Power. Texier holding his own.
Here's Gooley. Shot it wide. Carries around for Lane Hudson. Hudson into the slot. Drops it off. Deneau far side. Back to Gooley. Wrister. There's a pad save made by Luukkonen. Now thrown across by Hudson. That's cut off by Buffalo. And here they come to center. Doan. Passes far side. Quinn back to Doan in front. That's broken up by Dobish. As check that, Gooley tried to run into Doan. He got the worst of it. As the Sabres moving around. Timmins to the near side. That's stopped by Dobish. Puck is still loose. Dobish on the seat of his pants. Finally gets up to his skates. Sabres pressing. Here's Samuelsson right side. Through the middle for Tucky. Blasts it wide. And Dobish covers up at the side of the net.
Dobish had no idea where that puck was on the last scramble. That's why he was late to his feet. He was almost doing the starfish. Finally gets back. Buffalo continues on with the press. Dobish is able to cover up with the last shot.
Sabres pressing for the first time tonight. They trail Game 7, 1-0 with 8:15 to go in the first on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee, made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
Passion, pride, history. The Canadiens are playoff bound and the fans are cheering. Depodium Mini Entrepot, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens, is with you all the way. For your storage needs, try 4 weeks free. Visit Depodium.com for details.
Are you looking for a damage insurance broker that specializes in commercial insurance? There is only one name, Essor Insurance. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, Essor Insurance brokers are the perfect advisors for you. With more than 65 years experience, Essor Insurance is proud of its team of brokers who stand out for their ability to select the best products for your business. Call 833-370-2704 or visit Essor.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. Essor Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Be on the sunny side of the street at the Sir Winston Churchill Pub and Winnie's Restaurant and Bar, your Spring Fever headquarters in the city. Soak up the vibe with refreshing drinks, delicious bites, and great company all season long. 1459 Crescent.
This is Montreal Canadiens hockey on your home of the Habs, TSN 690.
8:15 to go in the first. Habs up 1-0, but JP Jack Quinn gets the first good look for Buffalo, and they follow it up with a couple more.
Well, Buffalo's only been credited with 5 shots on goal so far, Victor, but a bouncing puck gets fed in from Hellenis into Jack Quinn, who had the 2 goals in Game 6 and was looking dangerous. He, rather than shoot the puck, he just makes a move to his forehand, and Jakub Dobeš gets the big left pad down to make that save. Buffalo followed up with a couple of more chances and have definitely carried the balance of play since the opening goal.
Sabres off the draw. There's a hard shot from Dahlin. Right off the blocker of Dobeš and high. Stays in the near corner here as Norris and Benson battle for it. Norris wins it away. He'll drift up high along the boards. Carries back to the goal line. And cycles it around, looking for Benson. It's picked off by Alex Carrier. And he'll move that up the far side. To the line, not out. Now it comes to Slavkovsky at center. Slavkovsky moving in. Drops it off. Caulfield looking down low for Suzuki. This will be taken away by Buffalo. Habs trying to win it back. Bouncing up front. There's a try for Caulfield. Another shot that's stopped by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and the Sabres clear it out. And this might be delay a game. Puck over glass on Buffalo.
Oh, I do think this is, but I do not know how Pekka Luukkonen makes this save. It's a bouncing puck that gets batted out of the air from Suzuki right onto Cole Caulfield's stick, who's sitting in the slot all by himself. It's a quick move to his forehand, a glove save, and then a second shot followed up. Luukkonen with a hard push out to the side of his net to make the save. Puck gets fired into the stands, so Canadiens will find themselves in the power play.
2 monster stops from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. And it will be puck over glass on Zach Benson. First power play belongs to Montreal.
Well, Dahlin, regardless of what happened afterwards, the puck goes into the glass. The captain spins around and gives Luukkonen a pat in the back after those 2 monstrous saves. Keep this a 1-goal lead for the Habs.
Habs get set up right off the draw. Suzuki looking through the middle, taken away by Buffalo and played to center. Habs are 6 for 18 on the power play in their last 4 games in this series. Hudson weaving ahead to center. Drop pass finds Nick Suzuki. Over the line, hands it off. Moves it round the boards right to Slavkovsky. Up high it goes. Demidov far side. Tried to feed that down the wing. It goes off of Owen Power and out to center. Hudson steps right back in. Dishes it off. Far wing. Demidov. Back to the line. Slavkovsky up top. Near side Suzuki. Through the middle. Hudson. Far side Demidov. Back to Hudson. Demidov again. Now to Slavkovsky. Cross ice shot from Nick Suzuki. That skitters wide and goes right to Demidov. Flutters it over for Lane Hudson. Near side, Suzuki. Back to Hudson. Fakes the one-timer. Now Suzuki near side. Down low, Caulfield. Trying to shake off Timmins. 35 seconds left to go on the power play. This is feathered to the far side by Suzuki. Demidov fell and the puck goes to center.
Who's going to let Buffalo get a change in? Fresh bodies.
Hudson drives it right back in. Habs wasting no time. Slavkovsky center. Shot blown wide by Zach Bolduc. Bolduc far side to the line. Here's Hudson. Looks for the lane to the net, and his shot goes off a leg. Back in front. Shot and they score! Zachary Bolduc, power play marker for Montreal. And it's 2-0 in Game 7.
How about this pass from Nick Suzuki? My word, on his backhand as he collects it off the back wall. It was a missed shot from Hudson. Comes off the back wall. Suzuki on his backhand. Goes cross seam right over to Bolduc. And Bolduc makes no mistake with this right under the bar. And it's a 2-0 lead for the Canadiens on a spectacular finish by Bolduc.
That one goes right off the back bar, in and out in the blink of an eye. And Zach Bolduc, who started the season so hot on the power play, comes up with a huge power play goal in Game 7.
Well, he is one of those guys who doesn't need a ton of looks. He scored 50 goals on multiple occasions as a junior. He gets one look at that, makes no mistake. Luukkonen is not catching up to that release.
That'll be Bolduc from Suzuki and Hudson at 14:29 of period number 1. Third of the Stanley Cup playoffs for Bolduc. Habs shoot it in from the wrong side of center. This is going to be an icing call.
Well, now with only 5 minutes and 21 seconds left in the first period, this is where the bench should be talking right now if you're the Canadiens and talking about discipline. If Buffalo finds their way back into Montreal's zone, getting a little zone time, this is where you want to make sure you're not taking silly stick penalties. You can take away space, not just with your stick, but with your feet, and that is what's going to keep the referee's whistle out of their mouth.
Face-off win for Buffalo, and the shot from Rasmus Dahlin ends up wide of the net. Here's Benson far side, works it in, tried to center. It's picked off by Dahlin. Dahlin far side for Buffalo, right past Dobson. He'll crash the net, and he's piled up in on Jakub Domisch right now as the Habs get it to center. Here's a breakaway. Texier moving in, shot. Oh, what a stop from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Texier couldn't squeeze that off the near side.
What a giveaway by Thompson as he sends Texier in from the blue line.
And the game stays 2-0 Montreal. 4:33 to play in the first. Sabres to center. Played right to Dobish. They'll shovel it aside. And the Canadiens work their way to center. Flipped in by Jake Evans. Near side, Demidov. Looks to the line for Gooley. Bounces around, out to center. Here go the Sabres with numbers. Zucker moves in, and that's taken away by Carrier as Zucker tried to filter the pass over through to the far side.
It's a sliding. Carrier gets in, commits his body to the ice, and breaks that play up by Zucker.
Sabres will get an offensive zone faceoff here as the Habs have iced the puck. And how about that opportunity for Alexandre Texier? He made a great move, JP.
Listen, everybody was paying attention to the net front. There was bodies all over the blue paint area with Jakub Dobisch. And Thompson was just waiting till he got the lane that he needed to fire this puck in. Makes a careless turnover, sends Texier in from the Canadiens' blue line. And it's Luukkonen with what could be a game-saving save.
Could be a series-saving save, JP, as the Canadiens win another D-zone face-off, and they've iced the puck again. Or no, they haven't. They're going to say this is tipped. Sabres back ahead to center. Byram throws it through the middle. That's tipped in by Doan. Habs working around to the near side. Taken away by Tuck. Played back to the far wing. Now it's Caulfield on it. And Lane Hudson will start ahead to center with a pass for Caulfield. Pitchforked in off the backhand. Dahlin gets over to him. He'll try and forge ahead on Slavkovsky. Sabre fans looking for a penalty on the play. It's back into the Montreal zone it goes. The Habs fire right back out down ice.
Well, this is Dahlin who had the puck as usual. And it's Slavkovsky's stick that got tangled up.
Benson played all the way to the far corner. Habs zone. Here's Tage Thompson. Tied up with Alexander Carrier. Thompson. Still knotted up with Carrier.
Carrier's having himself a hell of a period.
Carrier wrenches this puck free and gets it over to Mike Matheson. Will snap it around the boards. Now Kirby Dach is tied up with Connor Timmins, and Timmins able to keep it in. Good stick by Dach. Knocks it away. Here's Thompson from long range. That's blocked, and back to center where the Sabres will just fire it in.
You know, that was almost Bolduc away on a breakaway off a shot off of his foot by Thompson.
Now Mike Matheson will start ahead with a pass over to the far side for Carrier. Played all the way into the Buffalo zone. 2:07 to go in the first. 2-0 Habs in Game 7. Here's Quinn near side. He gets blown up by Keita Gooley. Near side corner, Habs zone. Josh Anderson under pressure from Quinn. Puck goes down low for Gooley. Canadiens fired all the way out through center ice, and they've iced the puck.
Alexander Carrier on the last shift that he had. We've seen him in the last few minutes. Now he goes down, breaks up a 2-on-1, then has a big individual battle along the wall with Tage Thompson. He's given up 6 or 7 inches to Thompson and a couple of pounds as well. But just gets his body in the way, uses his feet to defend, separates Thompson from the puck. Canadiens able to exit the zone. That's what you're going to need tonight.
Sabres win the faceoff. Far side shot incoming. That one stopped, and the rebound spills out to Josh Anderson. He'll roll it to center. Sabres get back to it, and here's Bowen Byram in his own zone. Toss down the right side for Josh Doan, moving in. Loops it over for Tuck far side. Alex Tuck in the slot with Dahlin, who took a big swing and a miss. Tuck back to the net. That's turned aside by Dobish. Sabres to the line. Owen Power. Roller through past the goal mouth and to the far corner. It's picked up by Buffalo. McLeod down low for Tuck. Final minute in the first. Habs on it. Here's Lane Hudson under pressure. Played up the near side. Now Newhook gets bowled over by Jordan Greenway as the Habs come to center and toss it in.
What a hit by Greenway. Heat-seeking missile.
Sabres on it. Ahead to center they go. Cross-ice feed. They're going to call this offside, and it's a good break for the Habs as the Sabres were threatening.
Well, they were indeed after a big shift, fourth line, and this puck makes its way cross-ice to Mallenstein. Greenway going hard to the net, and give Mallenstein credit. He was pretty much ready to go, loaded for that shot, and he backs off of it at the last moment when the when the linesman calls offside.
37 seconds to go in the first. We're going to take our last break of this period on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Catch everything soccer with Bell's Game Time Bundle.
What about every save? Every header? Tackle? Slide tackle?
Yep.
Penalty kick? Bicycle kick? Every celebration?
Watch every moment with 5 TV with RDS and more sports channels. Plus 500 internet. All for $99 a month. Includes autopay credit. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell. Connection is everything.
For the first time in a decade, the NHL returns to the great outdoors of Winnipeg.
The Heritage Classic.
October 25th, Mark Scheifele and the Winnipeg Jets face off against Nick Suzuki and the Montreal Canadiens. Outdoors at Princess Auto Stadium in the Tim Hortons NHL Heritage Classic.
Get that outdoor feel in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Don't miss your chance to experience hockey outdoors live.
Hockey under the sky.
Get your tickets now at nhl.com/Heritage Classic.
Canadiens hockey is presented by SR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
37 seconds to go in the first period. The Habs lead Buffalo in Game 7, 2-0, JP. And this is a Buffalo forecheck. They don't have a goal yet, but boy, they're giving Montreal some difficulty in their own zone.
If Montreal cannot figure out this forecheck, they will give this lead up. There's no question about it. Buffalo has been threatening, and they have enough skill to make you pay. The question right now is, as the Canadiens go into the locker room, if they get this sorted out, they should be fine. But it is the weak spot right now and something that Buffalo is going to lean on.
Neutral zone face-off win for the Sabres. Here's Byram. Over to Thompson. Fires it into the Habs zone. As they pile into the near corner. Taken away by Benson. Now locked up again along the end boards with Tage Thompson. He's tied up here with 7 seconds to go in the first.
Another job with Carrier and Thompson.
Trying to wrestle it free. Sabres do. They're going to run out of time here for another shot. And while the Buffalo Sabres spend the majority of the time here in the offensive zone, it is the Montreal Canadiens who will take a 2-0 lead to period number 2.
Buffalo certainly the most opportunistic group. The most the best push in that period, but the Canadiens by far and away the most opportunistic. They get some depth scoring from Danault. They get a power play goal, and they head into the locker room with a 2-0 lead.
Danault with the icebreaker in Game 7 at 4:30. Bolduc with the power play goal at 14:29. And it's 2-0 Montreal in Game 7. And it is the first intermission roundtable when we come back to Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
From the rink to the radio, Habs Lunch. Get all the information, highlights, and analysis with Campbell versus Gallo daily. No subscription fees. Just pure Habs talk the way you like it. Habs Lunch, weekdays noon to 1.
Centers out in front. Oh, what a big stop from Sam Montembeault. He takes one away.
Also available on the free iHeartRadio app as a podcast.
Hey, you know the difference between the Habs and a tire?
No. What?
There's none. They both have pressure.
Yeah, good point.
Point S, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, whoa, what's that sound?
I don't know. It comes and goes.
You gotta fix that. We can barely hear the game.
Yeah, good point.
Point S. Until June 30th, get $100 on a prepaid card when you buy 4 eligible Hankook tires. Details at points.ca.
Montreal, the moment you've all been waiting for. Teddy Swims, The Ugly Tour. October 7th at the Bell Center. Get your tickets at teddyswims.com.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee, made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
The first intermission is brought to you by Wegovy. Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name and visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
The Montreal Canadiens Fan Jam, presented by Lacache, comes to life for the playoffs. Be there for the biggest outdoor party in the city, featuring tattoos, a barber, food, drinks, and more. Rain or shine, join us at the Canadiens Plaza next to the Bell Center before home games only. Free admission, but first come, first served. Experience the playoff frenzy with the most passionate fans. Get all the details at playoffs.canadiens.com.
Are you looking for an insurance broker, passionate and professional? With 65 years of experience, SO Insurance has proven to be totally dedicated to serving its clients. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, their brokers have one priority: to find you the best offer available to insure your home, car, and all other types of motorized vehicles. Call 833-370-2704 or visit SOR.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Catch everything soccer with Bell's Game Time Bundle.
What about every save? Every header? Tackle? Slide tackle?
Yep.
Penalty kick? Bicycle kick? Every celebration?
Watch every moment with 5 TV with RDS and more sports channels. Plus 500 internet, all for $99 a month. Includes autopay credit. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell, connection is everything.
Canadiens hockey is presented by Essor Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. Essor Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
No score yet in Game 7. Anderson throws it in off the backhand, and he'll go right after it in the far corner. Sabres zone, Habs win it. Here's Gooley, out in front, shot, scores! Deflected in front. Off the shot from Gooley, it's Philip Deneau, and it's 1-0 Montreal in Game 7. He'll snap it ahead to center ice. Spotted Jason Zucker. Brought in through the middle, Quinn to the net, and the first big pad save of the night is made by Jakub Dobiš. Slavkovsky moving in. Caulfield looking down low for Suzuki. This will be taken away by Buffalo. Habs trying to win it back. Bouncing up front. There's a try for Caulfield. Another shot that's stopped by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and the Sabres clear it out. And this might be delay a game. Puck over glass on Buffalo. To the line. Here's Hudson. Looks for the lane to the net, and his shot goes off a leg. Back in front. Shot, and they score! Zachary Bolduc, power play marker for Montreal. And it's 2-0 in Game 7. Dahlin far side for Buffalo, right past Dobson. He'll crash the net, and he's piled up in on Jakub Dobiš right now as the Habs get it to center. Here's a breakaway. Texier moving in, shot. Oh, what a stop from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Texier couldn't squeeze that off the near side. Bounces around, out to center. Here go the Sabres with numbers. Zucker moves in, and that's taken away by Carrier as Zucker tried to filter the pass over through to the far side.
It's a sliding. Carrier gets in, commits his body to the ice, and breaks that play up by Zucker.
Welcome back to Montreal Canadiens hockey on TSN 690. I'm Mitch Gallo with Lucas Scott. The Canadiens lead the Buffalo Sabres 2-0 after the first period of play. Your first period scoring summary. 4:30, Philip Deneau scores his first of the postseason. And Caden Gooley and Alexander Texier got assists on that one. And then at 14:29, Zach Bolduc, power play goal, his third from Nick Suzuki and Lane Hudson. It is time for the first intermission roundtable. We have our color commentator, JP O'Connor, with us. JP, what a dream start for Montreal in Game 7.
Depth scoring, can you believe it? That's it. You know, you're always hoping that you're going to get that, Mitch, but you know, you get something out of Deneau. Deneau has done real well in this playoff series in limited areas. And one of the areas that I find that he's been really good in is down below the goal line. We've seen him on a couple of the assists that he's gotten. You know, the quick passes out from just a couple of feet behind the goal line over to, to Anderson or, some other ones. But he gets himself in a good spot, and, Texier collects the puck, gets it over to Gooley. Gooley could have just buried his head and hammered that puck, and instead he just gets his head up, has a quick look, and he's looking for Deneau on the redirect. Inadvertent goes in off his skate, and Deneau will take it any way he can get it. And then following that, Caulfield right before has an opportunity, and Luukkonen makes a save on him, and you look maybe a little bit dejected, or you feel a little bit dejected for Caulfield. You think he's going to get it, but rather than drop your shoulders, the Canadiens get in the power play and make it count with just a sizzler by Bolduc.
Yeah, just to go back to the Deneau goal, Josh Anderson was so impactful in the Tampa Bay series. Yep. A little bit less in this series against Buffalo as far as being super noticeable. JP, might go under the radar because his name isn't on the score sheet on the Deneau goal, but the whole play starts with Josh Anderson below the goal line.
You got it. It sure does. It starts in the neutral zone. It's getting Josh Anderson into races. Because I can promise you, as you charge into a corner with Josh Anderson, if you're a defenseman, there is only one thing that you're thinking of, is Josh Anderson is going to put me into the snack bar. And and that's Anderson's job, right? He's not thinking about the puck. He is thinking about, I'm going to eliminate you, and then my second forward is going to come in and clean up what's behind me. And give Byron credit. He goes shoulder to shoulder with him. They go into the corner, but Anderson has the presence of mind just to reach back, deflect that puck over to Texier. So you're right. His name is not on the score sheet, but the way that Anderson is going to impact this game tonight is a simple recipe, isn't it? It's going to be on the forecheck that we just saw. It's going to be the net front battles that are going to continue to tire out defenders. And if he is moving the way that he can move, then he's always a threat to draw penalties as players are just trying to get in the way to give their defenders, the defensemen as they're heading back for puck, just to give them a little bit more time. So Josh Anderson, mission accomplished on that. Doesn't see it, but you're right to point out, Mitch, it all starts with him.
JP, how about that first period for Alex Carrier? Right, you look at the game, the struggles that he and Mike Matheson had and Caden Gooley in Game 6, and, to make that 2-on-1 stop, the instinct to slide down and then block that shot, and then even with Tage Thompson along the boards, Tage Thompson tries to put a spin move, and
twice,
even though he has the height advantage, Carrier was like a brick wall on that play.
Yeah, it was, and listen, you look at that sequence along the wall, along the half wall, and that is what Lane Hudson does so well. Right, and we look at Hudson as he's not going to be able to overpower you physically. He's a strong enough guy, and he's shown it on plenty of occasions. But the best way that he can defend is with his feet by just getting into position, and it's exactly what Carrier does on that sequence. Carrier's not a towering presence on the blue line either. But has understood over time how he's going to fit in, how he's going to be an effective defender. The best way that he does it is always with his positioning, and it's with defending with his feet along the, if he gets in those situations along the wall. And you saw him frustrate Thompson on 2 occasions. Thompson is magical with the puck, and the fact that he's 6'7" and has a reach that can basically get across the ice, it makes it really tempting for a defenseman as you get in close. You think you've got him because you're body on body, but his hands are always well away from you. And so give Carrier credit on that sequence, and right at the end, understands how to hit and pin and hold Thompson against the wall, get his hands out of the picture, and you eliminate him as well.
Last one for you, JP. If there's one thing that could be a concerning trend in this game for Montreal, it's the ability to handle a really tough Buffalo forecheck. Like Buffalo was coming in with some heat, and Montreal got hemmed in a couple times there, JP.
Yep.
What do you think the discussion here would be in the intermission to try to maybe get out of the zone a little bit quicker, or, given that you have the lead, not take any risk with the puck? A flip into the neutral zone up 2-0, not a big deal, right?
No, it's not a big deal, but it doesn't have the same effect as if you're able to break out of your own zone under control. Because, you're flipping pucks, you keep giving possession back, you may be not able, if you don't dump the puck far enough out of the zone, then you can't get back to the bench for a change. Guys get tired, and that's where the mistakes really start to multiply. If I was Marty St. Louis and coming into the locker room, I would talk about the neutral zone first, and that is where you have to get bodies in front of the forecheckers. You have to be in position, you have to be aware. I would make sure that Dobesh is ready to get out of his net, knock pucks down, and maybe potentially have him, file a couple of pucks up to the wing, just to change the pace, just to slow them down a little bit. And the last thing is, if in fact there is an opportunity to kind of get in on a forecheck, when the Canadiens do get the puck on their stick, it has to go lateral. You have to get the puck across the ice. That takes some of the sting out of that two-man forecheck. And then the puck has to go north right away. That is it. It sounds simplistic, but if it can go left across the ice or right across the ice and then north right away, then you start to destabilize, and you're starting to ask the Sabres to get into a more passive or even defensive position as you start to make your way up into the top end of your own zone.
Thanks as always, JP.
Appreciate it.
There's JP O'Connor, our color commentator on Montreal Canadiens hockey. Mitch Gell here with Luca Scott. The Canadiens lead Buffalo 2-0 after 1 in Game 7. Coming up next, we'll get you caught up with the out-of-town scoreboard on TSN 690.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
I've always wondered what kind of tires they put on the Zamboni.
I bet they're not summer tires.
Maybe all season?
I doubt it.
Yeah, good point.
Point S, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Jeez, feels like the Habs are always on the road.
I hope they have good tires.
They fly.
Yeah, good point.
Point S. Until June 30th, get $100 on a prepaid card when you buy 4 eligible Hankook tires. Details at points.ca.
Are you looking for a damage insurance broker that specializes in commercial insurance? There is only one name, Essor Insurance. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, Essor Insurance brokers are the perfect advisors for you. With more than 65 years experience, Essor Insurance is proud of its team of brokers who stand out for their ability to select the best products for your business. Call 833-370-2704 or visit Essor.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. Essor Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
The Montreal Canadiens Fan Jam, presented by Lacache, comes to life for the playoffs. Be there for the biggest outdoor party in the city, featuring tattoos, a barber, food, drinks, and more. Rain or shine, join us at the Canadiens Plaza next to the Bell Center before home games only. Free admission, but first come, first served. Experience the playoff frenzy with the most passionate fans. Get all the details at playoffs.canadiens.com.
You're listening to the home of sports in Montreal. TSN 690, CKGM, and iHeart Radio Station.
Canadiens hockey is presented by Essor Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. Essor Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back to Montreal Canadiens hockey. Habs lead Buffalo 2-0 after one in Game 7. Out-of-town scoreboard, PWHL, Montreal trying to close it out and win the Walter Cup. Right now, though, it is 1-1 between Montreal and Ottawa. Ottawa just tied the game moments ago. Montreal did have a 1-0 lead. Peyton Hemp, her first of the postseason. All right, coming up next, second period action between Montreal and Buffalo. Habs up 2-0. Victor Finley and JP O'Connor with the call.
Catch everything soccer with Bell's Game Time Bundle.
What about every save? Every header? Tackle? Slide tackle?
Yep.
Penalty kick? Bicycle kick? Every celebration?
Watch every moment with 5TV with RDS and more sports channels. Plus 500 internet. All for $99 a month. Includes autopay credit. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell. Connection is everything.
Trade tariffs, quotas, changing customs regulations. It's a lot, but you don't have to manage it alone. Delmar's customs brokerage experts help you stay compliant, reduce costs, and trade with confidence. Visit delmarcargo.com. Delmar, logistics made simple.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee, made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
Abrisvo is an RSV vaccine. 60 or over? Talk to your healthcare provider about Pfizer's Abrisvo. Visit abrisvo.ca.
I'm with a Habs fan. Heading into the next game, what are you hoping for?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's about winning battles, winning draws, and winning tickets.
Tickets?
Yeah, Desjardins has this contest to win tickets. You put your name in, give yourself a chance, and you live with the result, you know?
You heard it, Desjardins members. Enter the Take Your Shot contest for a chance to win 2 tickets to the next Habs home game. Contest details and entry at desjardins.com/Habs. Conditions apply.
The home of your Montreal Canadiens. TSN 690.
Back inside KeyBank Center, we are getting ready and set to go for the second period of Game 7 between the Canadiens and the Sabres. Habs up 2-0. Philip Deneau and Zachary Bolduc with the goals. Victor Finley here with JP O'Connor on the call tonight, and Buffalo are going to see if they can get some of that forecheck pressure here to start off period number 2 the same way they ended period number 1.
I think if you're Lindy Ruff, you're going in and you're not overly worried talking to your team because you were able to generate chances. The question right now is, are you going to be able to execute on those chances? Lindy Ruff, no doubt, telling his team that forecheck is working to keep it up and that it is going to come.
So we will start back out at center ice with the Canadiens in charge by 2 goals in this Game 7. So they'll start with Anderson, Nuno, and Texier at center. Carrier and Matheson at the line. McLeod, Tuck, and Doan with Dahlin and Samuelson for Buffalo. And the Habs now moving from left to right in period number 2. Sabres carry it right in over the blue line to start this second stanza. Going to be thrown down behind the Montreal net. Picked up left side by Samuelson. His shot to the net is denied. Carried up high by Tuck. He flies it high of the net. Comes down behind. Settled by Carrier. Directed ahead. Habs to center. Texier right side. Rips it in. Rides around the boards. Josh Anderson deep in Sabre territory. Tied up by Matthias Samuelsson. Habs out shooting Buffalo 11-10 after 20 minutes. There are already more shots in one period of this Game 7 than they had in the entirety of Game 7 versus Tampa Bay, but just as many goals as Buffalo have iced it from center.
You know, there's a sequence on that last offensive rush by Buffalo as the puck gets filtered to the middle of the ice, and it's just Tuck who fires one, and it goes over Dobish's head. He does catch a piece of it with his glove, but it's coming straight at him, and ordinarily a puck's not coming at you straight like that. It's a bit of an angle. You can judge where it's going to go, and you know that Dobish, as soon as he sees that puck go over his head, he backs right into his net. You never know how that rebound is going to come off the glass, and you could see he was not comfortable at all with the puck behind him.
Sabres win the D-zone face-off. And they'll pass it ahead to center. It's caught by Ryan McLeod. Far side, good play by Dobson. Denies the zone entry. Back to Sabre territory it goes. Samuelson off the boards. Bouncing through center and gave Lane Hudson some trouble. It'll be settled down far side wing by Buffalo. And a bit of a weak shot is just fought off by Dobish. So Canadiens played around. Dobson's got no stick. Still able to get it to center. As Buffalo go back for it with Bowen Byram.
Well, the Canadiens' idea was great. It's just that Dobson didn't have a stick in his hand.
Sabres play it into the Montreal zone. Behind the net, Benson trying to sneak it in on a wraparound. It'll be picked off by the Habs and fired out through center. Just past the net, that'll be an icing call.
We're seeing a lot of this from Dobish as he does get the stick out frequently on poke checks, but as he reached out there, his stick actually gets stuck and ends up going behind the net, and it slows him down as he's trying to go from his right post to his left post.
Benson with points in 4-6 games this series. He's also received a 10-minute misconduct in 3 of the 6 games, including Game 6, as it's bounced back into the Sabre zone for Bowen Byram. Advanced ahead through center. Habs break it up. Back it goes for Power. Over to Byram. Left side, Canadian zone. Drops it off. Hellenis out in front. Shot from Zucker. He just missed. Blocker side. Trying to jam it home. Side of the net. They blow the whistle. And it doesn't look like it ever went in. There was never a call on the ice, as the faceoff should come up in the Montreal zone.
Well, it will indeed. And Zucker was swinging away at this. Cole Caulfield just needs to forget about the puck and drop his shoulder on Zucker, clear him out of the way as Zucker's pitchforking to see if he can get that puck across the line. No question that they will take a quick look at this just to make sure, but there's no way as Dobish seals the post.
Doesn't look like it ever went in, JP. I don't think it ever touched the line. And there's no doubt about that. 17:43 to go in the second. Sabres still trail 2-0. Habs win the faceoff. Play it out off the boards, down the ice right to Luukkonen. He'll move it over to Connor Timmins. Tipped in far side. Deep to Hab territory. Norris goes after it. Has some help from Zach Benson, and Norris goes down. There's going to be a penalty on the play.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a rough, maybe a high stick on Carrier. But Norris is down in the corner. We saw him take a high stick in the face last game that ended up being a 4-minute on Mike Matheson.
And it does look like there's some blood on Josh Norris. I guess the question is, how recent is that cut?
Well, that's it. Under review.
So they will have another look at it here. We're going to get our first replay right now.
Well, the play's down in the corner, and it's Gooley that goes heavy into him as Norris goes to the ice. And he does get caught with a high stick. Just trying to figure out where this one actually comes from.
Is it his own stick, JP? I've got no idea what to make of this.
Yeah, well, it's either Carrier or it's come from his own stick. As you mentioned, the referees will take a look at this.
We've just seen two replays at two different angles, and I don't think either of them give us any kind of inclination here as to what happened there on Norris. They've taken a quick look at it here.
After review, number 6 from Buffalo is the one that high stick.
Yeah. So it's friendly fire from Benson.
Okay, that answers that. Something about that didn't look right, and that explains it. We're going to get another replay here. Oh, it was Benson. He goes in for the stick lift on Carrier and comes away empty-handed.
Quite the high stick, though. My goodness.
Yeah.
That's 2 in a row for Josh Norris. Split his lip. Not a lot of vinegar chip eating coming up in his future.
So a tough break for Josh Norris. Here come the Sabres right back in. Still down 2-0, and we stay 5-on-5. Matheson, far side, forwards it ahead to center. Swept in by Newhook. Dahlin back for it. Over to Matthias Samuelsson. He'll look ahead to center ice. Bounces around for Tage Thompson over the line. They're going to call that offside on Buffalo.
Well, it's Peyton Krebs as he turns around. It was just his momentum carried him across the line. That's quite the drop-off for Krebs in this series as well. We saw him in Game 1 and Game 2 as well, playing alongside of Tuck and Thompson on the first line, just kind of using his physical skills to try and create some space. But it's been a tough series for him. He now finds himself down to the fourth line.
0 points in 6 games, 3 shots, -6 for Krebs against the Montreal Canadiens. Face off at center, Tuck will take it, and it hasn't been a much better series for Alex Tuck, who's had more shots, 21, but has exactly as many points as Krebs does through 6 games in this series. Here's Doan with a shot in front that's stopped by Dobish, and the Canadiens will play it ahead to center. Here's Bolduc moving in, far side with a shot, and that's stopped by Luukkonen, and he's going to cover up well out of his crease and get the whistle.
Well, 2 impressive releases at either end of the ice. The first one by Doan, it makes the save, and the second one on the Bolduc stick. Bolduc goes inside out to get it over to his left side, and he triggers this puck. Luukkonen makes the save, kind of fumbles it a little bit. Canadians are sniffing around to see if they can find a rebound with Kirby Dach. But Luukkonen is able to cover this puck up, eventually get the whistle that he needs.
Deneau in for the face-off. And the stick of Peyton Krebs disintegrates in the face-off dot. Buffalo still somehow win this. And Power moves it off the glass. Out to center. It's knocked away from Malenstein. Deneau gloves it down. That's going to be called for an offside.
Yeah, that was almost a tremendous keep-in by Philip Deneau as this puck gets flipped out of the zone, and it's a left glove save at the blue line for Deneau. Just slightly out of the zone.
He had a rough night in the faceoff dot, JP, in Game 6. How about Philip Deneau going 3 for 14 after he was 66.2% on draws in the 5 games prior?
No, it's not often you see Deneau going 21% in a game. Dreadful night. It was a dreadful night for the Habs in the faceoff circle in Game 6 anyway.
Overall, though, they have dominated the faceoff dot head-to-head against Buffalo, who were the worst faceoff team in the National Hockey League. As the Sabres back in their own zone with power. Feeds it ahead for Zach Benson. With speed through center. Here goes Benson cutting in. Off to Norris. Left side. Try to go upstairs on Dobish. It goes all the way around out to center off the glass.
That's got to be at least the second time that we've seen Benson able to come up through the middle of the ice, get right through the Canadiens on the blue line.
Timmins at center for Buffalo. Throws it ahead. Here's Tage Thompson far side. Fending off Lane Hudson. Played down low. Bolduc cuts it off. Played right around to the far side wing again and out to center ice. Now Norris takes a hit as he plays it in. Sabres are changing. 15:23 to go in period number 2. It's 2-0 Montreal in Game 7.
Bolduc had 7 hits last game in Game 6 and finishes off Norris along the wall.
Here come the Sabres moving in far side. Shot incoming. That's blocked. Never got through. Now Quinn plays it to the far corner for Hellenis. Back to Quinn. Goes up high, leaves it for Dahlin. Dahlin with a wrister, and he missed that one off the glass. Back into the corner for Matheson. Nudged up the wing, and here go the Habs to center ice. Suzuki will just play that in off the boards. And goes after it behind the Buffalo net. Hellenis takes it away. Throws it to center for a waiting Alex Tuch. Now controlled by Ryan McLeod. He's got a few games of Game 7 experience under his belt, including one in the Stanley Cup Finals. As a member of the Edmonton Oilers is Ryan McLeod. At center is cut off by Ivan Demidov. Habs pick it up. Gooley with it. Up to center, left side, spots Jake Evans. He'll throw it in. And the Sabres tag up with Samuelson behind the net. Long stretch to center. That's deflected in. Sabres in on the forecheck. Tuch grabs it near side. To the line. They're going to say that one came back out. And it's offside on Buffalo.
Owen Power just couldn't keep that puck in. Fortunately for the Canadiens.
13:52 to go in the second period. 2-0 Montreal lead in Game 7 on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Here we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee. Made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
The biggest superstar in country music, Luke Combs, presents his My Kind of Saturday Night Tour with special guests. May 29th and 30th at Parc Jean Drapeau. Tickets on sale now at lukecombs.com.
For the first time in a decade, the NHL returns to the great outdoors of Winnipeg.
The Heritage Classic.
October 25th, Mark Scheifele and the Winnipeg Jets face off against Nick Suzuki and the Montreal Canadiens. Outdoors at Princess Auto Stadium in the Tim Hortons NHL Heritage Classic.
Get that outdoor feel in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Don't miss your chance to experience hockey outdoors live.
Hockey under the sky.
Get your tickets now at NHL.com/Heritage Classic.
Catch everything soccer with Bell's Game Time Bundle.
What about every save? Every header? Tackle? Slide tackle?
Yep.
Penalty kick? Bicycle kick? Every celebration?
Watch every moment with 5 TV with RDS and more sports channels. Plus 500 internet. All for $99 a month. Includes autopay credit. Visit Bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell. Connection is everything.
This is Montreal Canadiens hockey on your home of the Habs, TSN 690.
Nearly halfway to go in Game 7. 13:52 left in the second to be specific, JP, and the Canadiens find themselves in front here, 2-0.
Well, unlike last game in Montreal, where the big guns for Buffalo finally showed up, Thompson and Dahlin with 5 points apiece in Game 6. It's been a little quieter here as the Canadiens have been able to hold the Sabres to only 12 shots through half the game.
His Game 6 performance, Rasmus Dahlin is the first ever defenseman with 5 points in an elimination game in the history of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
A really impressive player, and jumps over Lane Hudson, who had sole possession of second place. Still Quinn Hughes is leading the charge for defenders, even though he's knocked out in the points race.
This puck ends up out of play here from center ice. 13:45 to go in the second period. Buffalo looking to grab onto anything here. They're being outshot 14-12 in this game. They have had the majority of the time in the attacking zone, but have not found a way to capitalize on it yet, JP.
I agree with you, but I would argue that less so here in the second period. The Canadiens have done a better job not allowing Buffalo to establish themselves. Their forecheck is still present, but the Canadiens have been able to move the puck a little bit more cleanly out of their zone.
Habs in their own zone here off the draw. Carrier feeds it down the right side. It's filtered in, and it's going to be stopped and covered the side of the net by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
I'm going to make no mistake with that. Luukkonen, as he's put into a position there where it's just a blind spot. As he gets up, Philip Danault's right on his tail. Talk about Philip Danault having a better night than the 21% that he put up in Game 6. Nick Suzuki is coming in to take this draw. He's having a tough night at only 3 for 9.
Habs win this one, though. Here's Hudson at the point. Over to Slavkovsky. Near side, spins away. Knocked down in front by Caulfield. Little backhander is kicked aside by Luukkonen. Buffalo in their own zone. Here's Byram behind the net. They'll try and get away from Cole Caulfield. Able to zip it to center. It's taken away by Dobson. Goes back toward Dobish. He's going to keep that moving. Toss to center by Hudson. Backtracking to the Sabres zone is Power. Thrown ahead off the far side now into the Montreal zone. Here's Norris. Backs right into Lane Hudson. Plays it behind the net. Quinn tries a shot. He was looking to lift that up short side. It goes high and wide. Back to the far corner. Norris fending off more pressure. Suzuki able to get it away, though. To the line. Dahlin holds it in. Down low. Norris tried to center it. Picked off by Dobson. Back to the line, though. Here's a try from Thompson. Bouncing around in front. It's going to be whistled down for a high stick.
Now, just as we spoke about the Canadiens being able to clear their zone, what ends up happening, you see the pressure along the wall. You see the physicality of the Sabres starting to kick in. And it's Quinn with a couple of decent looks. And in this last sequence, the puck gets fed out to the point. And it's Tage Thompson who's coming in, skating downhill, using his reach to try to change angles. The puck ends up getting tipped high, and it's a high stick by the Sabres. It gives the Canadiens a little breathing room.
.12:22 to go in the second. And we'll face off once again in the Montreal zone. Blocker side on Dobish. McLeod in to take it for the Sabres. It's won back, though, by Jake Evans for Montreal. Far side, this puck ends up taking a hop out into the Sabre bench.
You can see the all-out commitment by the Sabres as they get into the Canadiens' offensive zone, whether it's the defenders stepping up on the pinch, knowing that there's going to be a high forward who comes in behind them to save their bacon if they get caught out of position. Buffalo is all in trying to keep the offensive pressure on the Canadiens.
Face-off glove hand side on Dobish. It's Danault versus Josh Norris. False start. And they get it away clean this time. Canadiens win it. Matheson flipped it to center. Knocked down by Buffalo. Here's Tage Thompson. Over to Rasmus Dahlin. Near side. Habs zone. Benson centered it. And Norris couldn't get a clean shot off. He's tied up by Josh Anderson. And the Canadiens will escape to center. Take it away into the Buffalo zone by Benson. Up to center again for Dahlin. Chipped in off the near side. Picked off. Here goes Anderson on a break. And he put it high. And the puck goes out of play as Anderson piles into the net afterward.
That's a tough break for Anderson as he finds his puck. He's in on a breakaway. He ends up blowing it over the net, going to ground, and crashing into the left post.
And Jim Ramsey out there to get on over to Josh Anderson, and we hope is just winded after going into the post. Anderson getting up here under his own power. That's a good sign. And he's going to skate off under his own power, too.
Well, this puck just transitions, and it's a quick up. You can see Anderson calling for it. He collects it at the red line. Comes in, and he tries to go short side, just under the bar, but blows it over the top, and then crashes into Luukkonen. Luukkonen's actually really lucky that he didn't catch the full brunt of Anderson coming in.
Anderson will stay on the bench and tough it out for Montreal. Played back in behind the Buffalo net. That's 2 breakaways in this game for the Canadiens. Texier had one in the first. Big save from Luukkonen off of that one. And Josh Anderson just puts the shot high. Sabres to center. Far side working in. Josh Doan can't get all the way to the net. Puck goes loose right to Doan, but she covers up.
Looks like everything is going to be okay in the corner as Byram followed up with Dobson. But what you like there is the game management by Dobesh. We'd seen him moving pucks earlier on. When there's an opportunity to keep the puck moving, Dobesh likes to keep the play going. If there's an opportunity where you need to take the temperature out of the game because you feel like the Sabres are coming on a little stronger, Dobesh has no problem as he goes out, he covers that puck up, and he'll trust his forwards to win the faceoff back. There's no sense in continuing on with that play when everybody is chasing back towards your net.
Battle off the draw. It's won by Montreal. Out to center they go. And played in deep for the Sabres zone by Slavkovsky. Suzuki centered it. That's stripped away from Caulfield. And here goes Hellenis to center ice. Good challenge by Dobson, knocked it away. And now the Habs back into the attacking zone. Slavkovsky filters it through. That was tipped by Suzuki. Pad save made by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Caulfield battling hard into the position in the high slot. He couldn't get a stick on it either.
Cooley plays it to the far side. It's taken by Suzuki. Habs to center. Here's Caulfield through the middle. His shot's knocked down by Luukkonen.
Caulfield keeps fighting for chances. It's going to come for him.
Timmins. Back behind his own net for Dahlin. Thrown out to center where it's fired right back in by Noah Dobson. Sabres on it. To center. Greenway over to Beck Mallenstein. It's played in behind the Montreal net. To the line. Long shot goes wide. Here's Mallenstein with a follow-up try. He missed that one. Samuelson with a long shot. That's stopped by Dobish. He wasn't sure he had it, but lucky enough for him, it's somewhere in his paraphernalia as you'll get the whistle with 9:46 to go in the second. We are halfway through Game 7. It is still a 2-0 Montreal lead.
Catch everything soccer with Bell's Game Time Bundle.
What about every save? Every header? Tackle? Slide tackle?
Yep.
Penalty kick? Bicycle kick? Every celebration?
Watch every moment with 5 TV with RDS and more sports channels. Plus 500 internet. All for $99 a month. Includes autopay credit. Visit Bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell. Connection is everything.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
Are you looking for an insurance broker, passionate and professional? With 65 years of experience, SR Insurance has proven to be totally dedicated to serving its clients. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, their brokers have one priority: to find you the best offer available to insure your home, car, and all other types of motorized vehicles. Call 833-370-2704 or visit SR.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Canadiens hockey is presented by SR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
JP, I don't think there's a single player or coach on the Canadiens that would not want to be in the position they're in right now in a Game 7. Halfway through it and up 2-0.
Well, no question about that. You know, there's always going to be opportunities within the game to find a little seam, but you throw two beside your team name, and everybody is going to take that. Canadiens right now, they're looking solid. It looks to me like Dobesh is a little bit wobbly right now. You like to see him just lock in. That's where the mental side of the game will come into play. It's brilliant gamesmanship right now from Demidov. Brilliant, as he's moved side to side, and he's just given Dobesh a little bit more time.
Battle off the draw. It's taken away by Buffalo, nearly centered for a wide open Zach Benson. Instead, the Habs get it to center ice. Sabres pick it up there. Dahlin backtracks. Throws it down the left side into the Montreal zone. Dobesh out to play it. Forced to center, and now here's Jake Evans. All by himself. He'll shoot it in and around to the far side it goes. As Buffalo handle it with Matthias Samuelsson. He'll spot Benson at center, crossing into Montreal territory. Far side Byram. Hands it off to McLeod. Up top, Power. 9 minutes to go in the second. Owen Power left side. Passes down low. McLeod spins around, centered, and couldn't find the mark.
Canadiens' feet aren't moving in the defensive zone. They're watching.
Matheson down low. He's got a chance to do something with it here, but he gives it right to Josh Doan. Doan drives in. All the way around, up to the line, dishes off, shot incoming from Alex Tuch is blocked by a body in front. Now Doan, back through the middle with a wrister, that's blocked as well. That got through, and Dobesh makes a glovehand stop on Alex Tuch to settle it down, and the Canadiens get a much-needed line change.
Well, there's the key word, and you just said it, Victor. It settled it down. I was just talking about the mental side of the game. We've seen Dobesh swimming a little bit in his net the last few moments, and in this play, he tracks the puck, he locates it, he gets into position, he gets big, and as it gets fed in by Tuch, the left hand comes out for the glove save.
And another look for Alex Tuch, but once again foiled by Jakub Dobesh. Canadiens now out blocking Buffalo 13-2. 13 block shots for Montreal.
Not surprised to see that number considering how much time Buffalo has spent in the Canadian zone.
Habs led the NHL in block shots this season. And they might have a lot more rubber coming their way here before too long. 8:03 to go in the second in Game 7. 2-0 Habs lead. They've got it in their own zone. Suzuki tried to play it out, couldn't. Here's Zucker. Near side, spins it around. Canadiens get on it. But not for long. It's stripped away by Buffalo. And out to center it goes. It'll be played in deep by Nick Suzuki. Canadiens set it up in the attacking zone. Here's Caulfield, short side, trying to go upstairs. It ends up high, out of play.
Well, you heard me earlier talking about Caulfield as he continues to battle. It's been a frustrating stretch for him, no question. I know that he would love to have more goals. Everybody would, but especially your sharpshooter. But we've seen him now with at least 3 solid opportunities. Odds are goals will come. Canadians again, though, in their own defensive zone as they're passing the puck around. They're giving Buffalo a lot of time to take away space. Their feet are not moving. As they catch pucks, they are static. Canadians need to be in movement. Philip Deneau having a chat with the linesman right now. Just kind of getting things squared away. Texier will come in to take this draw.
Sabres win the faceoff back. And they'll advance to center. Malenstein over to Krebs. Krebs moving in. Good play by Hudson. Got his stick in there to knock it away. Greenway out there as well with Krebs and Malenstein. As Greenway has it behind the Hab net. Battles with Dobson. Puck comes to the far side, and the Habs try to boot it out to center. Instead, it's brought back into the corner by Krebs. Up the near side. Samuelson holds it in. Rolls it down low. Krebs behind the net, over to Greenway. Back to the line, down low again for Greenway.
Well, it's a mismatch. Hudson's got no stick.
Out in front, rolling around, shot, and they score! Matthias Samuelson for Buffalo. And the Sabres have their first in Game 7.
No way Dobesh sees that puck. That's a good fourth line job. You'd heard me say that Hudson had lost his stick. This puck is down below the goal line behind the net as everybody's hunting for it. It just makes its way back to the point with Samuelson. Dobesh is looking through legs. Samuelson gets it, makes a nice shot, short side. Opens the scoring for the Sabres.
There were about 5 bodies in front of Dobesh there, JP. He never had a chance to see that shot.
Well, not at all, but let's come back to where it all starts, is the inability of the Canadiens to get that puck under control, clear the zone. It gives Buffalo freebies. After a while, they're going to be able to take advantage of it. Samuelson just does that, and KeyBank Center's rocking again.
Well, it's been the offense from the blue line that's taken the Sabres to another level offensively this season. Get a false start on the faceoff at center. And once again, it's Samuelson from the back end. His 4th of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Had points in 3 straight coming into the game. Make that 4. You know, he's looked at as the pair, or as the defender on that pair with Dahlin. Kind of shut everything down. Let Dahlin do his offensive thing. But Samuelson gets an opportunity and makes no mistake with that shot.
Face off at center. It's played in by Buffalo. Matheson on it. Back to the neutral zone. It'll be Samuelson at 13-19 of the second for Malenstein and Greenway. Big shift from Buffalo's 4th line. As it's now a 2-1 Montreal lead in Game 7. Sabres in their own zone. Here's Suzuki. Picks it off with a forecheck. Suzuki on the ice right now with Kirby Dawkins, Zach Bolduc. Far side corner, Sabre territory. Power plays it ahead. Comes back to him. Now he'll find Bowen Byram on the left side. He'll skate it into the Montreal zone. Moves it across. Here's the shot. And that one goes just wide. And all the way back through center ice to the Buffalo zone.
Well, that is not who you want to have that shot as Benson gets it all kinds of time. Has his head up and fires his puck wide. Missed opportunity for the Sabres.
Sabres in again. Another shot from Tuck flies high and off the mark. Near side Tuck. Another shot attempt blocked. Habs toss it to center. It's out of the reach of Demidov. Sabres reset and fire it in.
That's the recipe, isn't it? Just get that puck, turn it right back around, get it in as deep as you can, and force the Canadiens to defend.
Canadiens pick it off, play it to center again. Newhook backing into the Sabre zone. Gets it over to Evans. Rolled all the way around the boards. Back down low behind the net for Evans. Far side Demidov. Down low for Evans. Up high at the point. Back to the far corner. Samuelson wraps up Demidov. And Newhook battles with Dahlin. The puck stays tied up in the far corner. McLeod. He'll spin it around right side. Dobson there to cut it off. And he gives it away to Ryan McLeod as the Sabres forge ahead to center ice. Stopped off the near side. Canadiens back the other way. Caulfield moves in with a shot, and look at it, makes the save. Didn't give him much to look at there.
I wasn't too sure if he had it, though, as Caulfield collects this puck. It's a quick pass up the wall. Caulfield has all kinds of space. The gap is narrowing as he releases the puck. And he's looking for five-hole with Luukkonen. Just can't slip it through.
4:31 to go in the second. Buffalo have made this interesting now with Samuelson's fourth of the postseason. It's 2-1 Montreal in Game 7.
I'm with a Habs fan. Heading into the next game, what are you hoping for?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's about winning battles, winning draws, and winning tickets.
Tickets?
Yeah, Desjardins has this contest to win tickets. You put your name in, give yourself a chance, and you live with the result, you know?
You heard it, Desjardins members. Enter the Take Your Shot contest for a chance to win 2 tickets to the next Habs home game. Contest details and entry at desjardins.com/Habs. Conditions apply.
Montreal, the moment you've all been waiting for. Teddy Swims, The Ugly Tour. October 7th at the Bell Center. Get your tickets at teddyswims.com.
Voisin knows everything tastes better after a win. This playoff season, when the Habs take the win, the celebration continues at Voisin. Swing by the following day for a free small Bleu Blanc Rouge slush. Voisin, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Details and conditions in store.
Hey, you know the difference between the Habs and a tire?
No? What?
There's none. They both have pressure.
Yeah, good point.
Point S, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, whoa, what's that sound?
I don't know. It comes and goes.
You gotta fix that. We can barely hear the game.
Yeah, good point.
Point S. Until June 30th, get $100 on a prepaid card when you buy 4 eligible Hankook tires. Details at points.ca.
Canadiens hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
4:31 to go in the second. Habs up 2-1, but JP, this period can't end quick enough for the Canadiens.
No, the Canadiens look heavy-legged right now. Listen, in the first period, they did a pretty decent job defending, even though Buffalo was able to get in with a heavy forecheck, establish all kinds of space. But if you keep chasing for the better part of 2 periods in your own zone, it gets harder and harder to defend.
Canadiens get called for offside at the Buffalo line. They just won the face-off back. And this one will come outside the Buffalo zone. Mattias Samuelsson, the lone goal thus far in the second period. As the face-off at center is won back by the Sabres. Handled by Timmins. Angled off the boards through center ice. Tipped in. Dobich out to stop it. Played all the way around. Deflected to center.
That helps, though, right? There's Dobich out of the net, and he creates the breakout himself.
Zach Benson now. In over the line. Far side, blowing a tire was Norris. And that allows the Habs to pick it up. Matheson. Over to Carrier. All the way up to center. Short pass he wanted. Suzuki through the middle, and there was space there, but couldn't connect. And this puck ends up out into the Hab bench.
Well, we've seen the puck get kicked out to the wall with the wingers, but I think that's a smart play, just trying to exploit the middle of the ice, but the pass is errant, gets past Suzuki.
That'll leave us with 3:40 to go in the second. Shots in this period. Tied at 7, although the Sabres have had the majority of the possession of the offensive zone. Habs have been getting looks in transition.
Well, we have seen Caulfield with a couple of looks. We saw an effort as well by Bolduc, but just haven't found a way through Luukkonen.
Caulfield's got a game high right now, 5 shots for the Canadiens as Montreal win the faceoff back to their own zone. Hudson back for it with Dobson. Played up the near side, out to center. Gathered by Anderson, and he'll play that in behind the Buffalo net. Sabres get to it. Right back through center. It's tipped in. Good play by Quinn as he bounced it over to Hellenis. He couldn't settle it down for the shot. As the Canadiens start ahead to center again. Another bouncing puck. This will not go for icing as Power plays it around. Sabres might have numbers. The Habs do get back to even it up here at 3-on-3.
Well, it's a bit of a dangerous gamble by Dahlin as he went back. He was expecting to get that icing call. Let off the gas.
Canadiens control the center. Here's Jake Evans. Played in near side. Byram goes after it. Malenstein. Up to center. Samuelson. Carries in over the line. Krebs with a shot. Kicked away by Jakub Dobiš. Far side Greenway. And they'll send a wrister wide. Canadiens back to it far corner. Carrier.
No surprise to see Lindy Ruff fire his fourth line on again as this period comes to an end.
Here's Demidov. He'll sail a shot wide. Sabres back down the ice with Malenstein left side. Bothered by Hudson near side corner. Played to the far side hash marks. Taken away by Montreal. Driving ahead, Juraj Slafkovsky with a shot and had Luukkonen off balance, but he missed. Another try for the line, took a tip. Now into the corner, Slafkovsky played around. Near side, Hudson given away. Sabres to center with McLeod. Into the attacking zone, hands off the tuck. Back down low it goes, behind the Montreal net. All the way around to the line, and Doan able to hold that in. What a great play by Doan through the middle. Sends a wrister wide glove side past Dobiš as Doan stays with it, finds Power at the point. Hands off, Dahlin with a wrister. That hit a body in front.
The Suzuki line's exhausted.
Power left side. Into the corner. Caulfield trying to lift it away from him. Out in front, here's Tuck with a shot. 2 tries off the short side. Dobiš stops them both as Caulfield juggles the puck ahead to center it out. Long change though for the Habs. They'll get at least one skater on the ice. Sabres back through the middle. Bouncing around on McLeod. And he's going to run out of space as Dobiš covers up with 48 seconds to play.
Another hectic sequence for the Canadiens in their own zone. And Tuck's got to be wondering what he's got to do for a goal. Gets a couple of looks, and on the last sequence fires one over. Hellenis, who's been deadly for the Sabres in his first 4 games, can't find the back of the net.
We've seen this a couple times, JP, where the Sabres have had long extended shifts in the offensive zone, and it's given Montreal some real trouble.
No question, and Canadiens are under a minute now as they're hemmed again back in their own zone to send out Philip Deneau and the defensive core.
Face-off win here for the Habs. They'll elevate it out to center. Byram knocks it down for Buffalo. And the Sabres come right back in. Norris centers. Dobiš the stop, still loose at the side. Big pile up in the blue paint. And the puck is finally covered up for the whistle.
Now there's the perfect example of what I was talking about, is the Canadiens are forced to just chip pucks high into the air. But they don't get far enough into the neutral zone so that you can get up, you can take away space. Buffalo come right back at the Montreal Canadiens, and it's a play in tight. Spectacular early save with Dobiš, and then a dog pile, Victor, as you said. Wes McCauley standing on the back of the net as he's trying to find the puck. Jakub Dobiš spies it and throws his body just on top of the pile, covers that puck up. Canadiens are scrambling.
Oh, we said it 4 minutes ago. We'll see it again now with 31 seconds to play. This period can't end quick enough for the Canadiens.
And it's going to be off to Jakub Dobiš's left-hand side. We'll see if it's got to be Dano, I would assume, in on this draw again.
Yes, it will, JP. Dano is 7 for 13 tonight.
Josh Norris having a big night, 10 for 12.
But Dano wins this face-off. Habs get it to center. Here's Evans. He'll just chip it in. Byram back for it with Dahlin. Dahlin spins away from Anderson. 18 seconds to play in the second. Sabres to center. Thompson. Nifty move over the line. Low shot. Pad save by Dobiš. Center and again in front for Norris. Couldn't get it loose for a shot. Now one last try. Thompson tries to drive it out in front. This will be taken away and rifled off the glass by Deneau. That's how we finish the second period of play.
Canadians look dog-tired. And it's Dobesh who collects his water bottle off the back of net. Big smile on his face. He's having some fun, but knows that they've gotten out of this period lucky to still be ahead 2-1.
One goal in that second period. They've changed it now to Jordan Greenway. They said it went off his pants, so it's going to be Greenway from Samuelson and Malenstein at 13-19 of the second. And this Game 7 is far from over tonight in Buffalo. 20 minutes to play with the Habs up 2-1. We got the second intermission roundtable next on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Get everything you want in sports radio with Mitch Melnick, host of Melnick in the Afternoon. Information, entertainment, and insight only 50 years in radio can give you. Along with John Still and Lucas Scott, Mitch sets the standard in sports radio that cannot be duplicated. Melnick in the Afternoon, weekdays starting at 2 on TSN 690. Also available as a podcast on the free iHeartRadio app.
For 60 years, Delmar has delivered excellence. Strikes, delays, tariffs, challenge accepted. With global reach, smart tech, and supply chain mavens, Delmar's proactive approach ensures your cargo keeps moving. DelmarCargo.com. Logistics made simple. Are you looking for a damage insurance broker that specializes in commercial insurance? There is only one name, Essor Insurance. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, Essor Insurance brokers are the perfect advisors for you. With more than 65 years experience, Essor Insurance is proud of its team of brokers who stand out for their ability to select the best products for your business. Call 833-370-2704 or visit Essor.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. Essor Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
For the first time in a decade, the NHL returns to the great outdoors of Winnipeg.
The Heritage Classic.
October 25th, Mark Scheifele and the Winnipeg Jets face off against Nick Suzuki and the Montreal Canadiens. Outdoors at Princess Auto Stadium in the Tim Hortons NHL Heritage Classic.
Get that outdoor feel in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Don't miss your chance to experience hockey outdoors live.
Hockey under the sky.
Get your tickets now at NHL.com/Heritage Classic.
Scoring big starts at Voisin. Through the playoffs, your 20-pack of Molson Canadian cans is at minimum price. Stop by Voisin before the puck drops. Voisin, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Abrisvo is an RSV vaccine. 60 or over? Talk to your healthcare provider about Pfizer's Abrisvo. Visit abrisvo.ca.
Catch everything soccer with Bell's Game Time Bundle.
What about every save? Every header? Tackle? Slide tackle?
Yep.
Penalty kick? Bicycle kick? Every celebration?
Watch every moment with 5TV with RDS and more sports channels. Plus 500 internet. All for $99 a month. Includes autopay credit. Visit Bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell. Connection is everything.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee, made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
Canadiens hockey is presented by Essor Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. Essor Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Up to center again for Dahlin. Chipped in off the near side, picked off. Here goes Anderson on a break, and he put it high. And the puck goes out of play as Anderson piles into the net afterward. Back to the line, down low again for Greenway.
Well, it's a mismatch. Hudson's got no stick.
Out in front, rolling around, shot, and they score! Matthias Samuelson for Buffalo. And the Sabres have their first in Game 7. Far side corner, Sabre territory. Power plays it ahead. Comes back to him. Now he'll find Bowen Byram on the left side. He'll skate it into the Montreal zone, moves it across. Here's the shot. That one goes just wide. Byram knocks it down for Buffalo. And the Sabres come right back in. Norris centers. Don't miss the stop. Still loose at the side. Big pile up in the blue paint. And the puck is finally covered up for the whistle.
Welcome back to Montreal Canadiens hockey here on TSN 690. I'm Mitch Gallo with Lucas Scott. The Montreal Canadiens lead the Buffalo Sabres by a score of 2-1 after 2 periods of play. Your second period scoring summary, 13-19. The goal ends up going to Jordan Greenway, his second of this series. Matthias Samuelsson with the shot. Beck Mallenstein also picks up an assist. So that's where we currently stand, 2-1 Montreal up on Buffalo. It is time for the second intermission roundtable, and we have our play-by-play man, Victor Finley, with us. Victor, not that the shot department was that one-sided for Buffalo, but the ice was certainly tilted, and it felt like Montreal was hanging on for dear life in the second period.
Yeah, I looked at the shot clock there to see it was tied at 7 at one point. It ends up 13-7 for Buffalo, but I was actually a little shocked that it was tied at 7 because it didn't feel like that, But I think the fact that the Buffalo has spent a lot of time in the offensive zone, to your point, feels like a lot of ice tilt there. But the Habs are also getting looks in transition as well, right? And that's where they're getting their shots from. So I don't have the fine details in front of me here, but I would guess at least 5 of those shots, if not all 7 of those shots for the Habs might have been in transition. I can't imagine they got much off the cycle.
Yeah, you know what? And that makes sense, especially with the way Buffalo's playing with that aggressive two-man forecheck, right? Like, if you can beat the forecheck, you're going to have numbers going the other way.
Yep.
But when Buffalo is on with their forecheck, they make it really hard to get out of the zone with control.
Well, I think the forecheck, it's been a tale of 2 very different forechecks tonight, right? Buffalo have been all over the ice with theirs, and I would say more often than not, it's worked for them. Although, to your point, it does open up the transition game for Montreal. Although I don't think Buffalo really have a choice at this point. As the team that's trailing, they've got to be aggressive there. The Canadiens' forecheck has been almost non-existent, and it's been costly for them at times. There was a chance there for Ryan McLeod off a really nice feed from, I think it was Quinn at one point that comes in off a 2-on-1 because Powers got that puck going right out through center ice again for Buffalo with almost no resistance. So I think that's been an area here that's we'll see how this game ends up being decided, but it wouldn't surprise me, Mitch, if the third period alone here comes down to which team is able to have a better forecheck.
Do you think in order to, generate more of a forecheck for Montreal that we see Marty just kind of throw all caution to the wind and just jumble up whatever lines he needs to jumble up in order to generate something?
I think it's going to be just based off of face-offs too, Luca, right? Like, I think if depending on where the face-off is going to be, we already saw Suzuki out there with Doc and Bolduc. I think you want Suzuki and Deneau here taking the majority of the face-offs, and they'll double shift Suzuki if they need to. They will. We saw to close out a game against Tampa Bay, Philip Deneau played something like the last 5 or 3 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever it was. I think they'll do that again tonight if they feel they need to. So just because of what they're doing with the centers, and I know they're going to get Evans some looks in there too. They will put who they feel like they need to with those guys. So I don't know if it's caution to the wind, Luke, in terms of just throwing different guys together for the sake of it. Like, there's always a method to the madness, right? But I think that's where it stems from. It's who's taking the face-off and who's playing up the middle. That's what's going to be, to me anyway, the cause for different line combos here in the third, because I think we will see the Canadiens jumble up a lot.
Doesn't it feel like we're in a situation here going into the third period? It's 2-1 for the Canadiens. But I feel next goal wins. This next goal is going to be massive. And, if the first 2 periods are any indication as to what we're going to see in the third, if Montreal gets it, it's going to be on a transition 2-on-1 or breakaway. Right. And if Buffalo gets it, it's going to be because Canadiens are hemmed in and they have players that are out on the ice for over a minute.
Well, I don't know, Mitch. If I'm the Habs, maybe I'm trying to shoot into the quarter here and get another bounce to go into the net because they've scored 3 times that way here in Game 7s going back to Tampa Bay. So maybe that's what it comes down to as well, right? A weird, stupid bounce. I mean, it's come down to a period now, right? In Game 7, it's Montreal in front, but in a lot of ways it almost feels like, because you said, in a lot of ways, it feels like our next goal wins here. It feels like it might as well be tied right now in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm still sitting here in the same chair I was like 2.5 hours ago when we talked to the pre-show and I told you I didn't know, and I still am no closer to knowing anything about this game and these teams.
Well, and I guess, with this big third period coming up, will a top player on either team deliver a big moment? Right, with Buffalo, it's Jordan Greenway with his third goal of the entire year off his butt, and for the Canadiens, it's Bolduc and Danault.
Yep.
Will it be Suzuki, Caulfield, or Slavkovsky for Montreal? And, will Tuck make an impact on the series before it's over? I think that's the story to track here in the third period. What about the top guys?
Mitch, did you say, was it you who made the bold prediction of no power plays in this game?
I did, yep.
Okay, so...
I should have said no penalty call by the referee because the puck over glass isn't a decision, right?
Right. Okay, so point is, though, that you're mighty close with that. Through 40, we've had a one penalty game, and it was on one that's very, cut and dry, black and white.
Yep.
I wonder if I could see the top guys getting involved if power play becomes a talking point here in the third period. That's where there's going to be the most opportunity, the most ice for a guy like Thompson or Darlene, or on the other side, too, for Montreal. I mean, gosh, they're, 4 for their last 4 power plays on the road now in Buffalo. They're white hot at KeyBank Center on the man advantage. So right now it's a power play goal that is the separator between these two teams. And I know it's always going to come down to the star players here, Mitch, and who's going to come through and who isn't for either squad. But I think special teams here could totally change the way this third period goes for either side.
Go ahead, Luca. We have time for one more.
Vic, did that second period as a whole feel a little bit more reminiscent of pretty much the totality of what we saw in Game 7 against Tampa?
For sure, yeah, but there's still more space out there. The Habs weren't getting those transition looks against Tampa Bay like they're getting against the Buffalo Sabres. So, yeah, I mean, it's similar in the sense that the Canadiens were the worst of the two teams in the second period, but they still had their looks. Still had their looks more than they did so against the Tampa Bay Lightning. They scored 2 goals off of silly bounces, and Slavkovsky hit the crossbar, I think, in the first period, but they never had any looks in transition like they're getting tonight against Buffalo. So there's a difference there.
Vic, we'll let you get ready for the third period. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it, Mitch.
There's Victor Finley, Canadiens and Sabres coming up. Third period action in about 5 minutes. Canadiens lead Buffalo 2-0 after 2. I'm Mitch Gallo with Lucas Scott. Coming up next, we'll get you caught up with the out-of-town scoreboard here on TSN 690.
The biggest superstar in country music, Luke Combs, presents his My Kind of Saturday Night Tour with special guests, May 29th and 30th at Parc Jean Drapeau. Tickets on sale now at lukecombs.com.
For the first time in a decade, the NHL returns to the great outdoors of Winnipeg.
The Heritage Classic.
October 25th, Mark Scheifele and the Winnipeg Jets face off against Nick Suzuki and the Montreal Canadiens. Outdoors at Princess Auto Stadium in the Tim Hortons NHL Heritage Classic.
Get that outdoor feel in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Don't miss your chance to experience hockey outdoors live.
Hockey under the sky.
Get your tickets now at nhl.com/Heritage Classic.
Abrisvo is an RSV vaccine. 60 or over? Talk to your healthcare provider about Pfizer's Abrisvo. Visit abrisvo.ca.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee, made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
I'm with a Habs fan. Heading into the next game, what are you hoping for?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's about winning battles, winning draws, and winning tickets.
Tickets?
Yeah, Desjardins has this contest to win tickets. You put your name in, give yourself a chance, and you live with the result,
You heard it, Desjardins members. Enter the Take Your Shot contest for a chance to win 2 tickets to the next Habs home game. Contest details and entry at desjardins.com/Habs. Conditions apply.
Canadiens hockey is presented by SR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back to Montreal Canadiens hockey here on TSN 690. Habs lead the Sabres by a score of 2-1 after 2 pairs of play in game number 7. Out-of-town scoreboard, PWHL action as Montreal the Victoire were trying to win their first ever Walter Cup, but it did not happen for them in this one as Ottawa finds a way to come from behind in the third period, down 1-0. Peyton Hemp scored at 14:30 to even the score from Gabby Hughes. And then with just 56 seconds left in the third period, Rebecca Leslie scored the game winner, her fourth of the postseason. So there you have it. We will have another game in this series now, 2-1. Montreal leads. Your next game will be on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. All right, there's your out-of-town scoreboard. Coming up next year on TSN 690, we have third period action of Game 7 between Buffalo and Montreal. Victor Finley and JP O'Connor with the call on the TSN 690 Habs Radio Network.
The Montreal Canadiens Fan Jam, presented by Lacache, comes to life for the playoffs. Be there for the biggest outdoor party in the city, featuring tattoos, a barber, food, drinks, and more. Rain or shine, join us at the Canadiens Plaza next to the Bell Center before home games only. Free admission, but first come, first served. Experience the playoff frenzy with the most passionate fans. Get all the details at playoffs.canadiens.com.
Montreal, the moment you've all been waiting for. Teddy Swims, The Ugly Tour. October 7th at the Bell Center. Get your tickets at teddyswims.com.
Catch everything soccer with Bell's Game Time Bundle.
What about every save? Every header? Tackle? Slide tackle?
Yep.
Penalty kick? Bicycle kick? Every celebration?
Watch every moment with 5TV with RDS and more sports channels. Plus 500 internet. All for $99 a month. Includes autopay credit. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell. Connection is everything.
Voisin knows everything tastes better after a win. This playoff season, when the Habs take the win, the celebration continues at Voisin. Swing by the following day for a free small Bleu Blanc Rouge slush. Voisin, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Details and conditions in store.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
The home of your Montreal Canadiens. TSN 690.
Welcome back to KeyBank Center. We are about a minute away from puck drop in period number 3 in Game 7. It all comes down to this. 2-1 lead for Montreal through 40. Victor Finley with JP O'Connor on the call. And, well, Game 7 is not always sunshine and rainbows. The Habs are hoping 20 more minutes leads to 20 smiles after this one is done tonight.
20 miles, 20 smiles, Victor. That's an old saying in the locker room, isn't it, where you've got one period to win and you can get out of it. And listen, the Canadiens know full well that they cannot afford to flip pucks out of the zone for 20 straight minutes and expect to get out of this game and head off to the East Conference Championship. They just won't be able to do it. There has to be a little bit more pushback. You're just wondering at this point if the Canadiens are going to have the legs to do it. The desperation has to be there to eliminate the Sabres. But you know that the Sabres are going to start this period off with a furious push.
They were pushing for most of the second, out shooting the Canadiens 14-7. Dobich has stopped 22 at 23 shots. Set his way tonight, Days. Here we go for the final period of regulation in round number 2. Habs moving right to left. Sabres win the opening faceoff, and we are underway for period number 3 is Thompson right off the hop here on the forecheck, down low for Buffalo. Puck comes away though for Newhook. Moved out to center and Sabres collect it again. Tipped in far side, offside call here as Josh Norris gets over to it.
Well, you can see the defensive posture immediately as the puck is turned over into the neutral zone. And you can see Alex Newhook peel off and he makes sure that he's got Norris well within his reach. Sabres do go offside, and the Canadiens are going to make a fast change here. This is going to be a Suzuki line coming on.
McLeod, Tuck, and Doan for Buffalo. Suzuki wins the faceoff back. Into his own zone. Here's Caulfield up the far side. He'll launch it in. So rolls in behind the Buffalo net. Scooped up by McLeod. Up the wall, not out. Broken stick on the play, and Buffalo able to scramble out to center. Here's McLeod right side. Trying to go back across. Good play by Suzuki. Knocks it away to center.
Picks it clean out of the air.
Now lobbed in by Buffalo. Canadiens far side. Dobson cross seam to Caulfield at center ice. He'll just play it in gently. And the Sabres with Rasmus Dahlin start ahead to center again. Hellenis near side. Caught off along the boards by Anderson. Canadiens take it away, and out to center they go. Picked off by Buffalo. Rolled back in. And now Texier to center ice. Far side, Anderson. They'll just go behind the net with it. And Samuelson took a high stick. There's going to be a penalty on the play.
It looks like it's going to go to Danault. Just soft penalty, but still Danault careless with his stick as he tries to get in to lift a stick. Tries to lift Samuelson's stick, but catches him in the mouth.
And this one's going to stand. No need for a review here. Buffalo were 4 for 6 on the power play in Game 6, though they did get some power play looks in garbage time of that game. And an 8-3 win. They will get their first power play here tonight in Game 7.
Let's keep in mind here, too, that's also Philip Danault is off the ice, who's an important penalty killer for the Canadiens.
Despite that, Habs able to win the faceoff. And out it goes through center ice. And all the way back for Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Drops it for Dahlin. All the way to center, Dahlin. Back for Tage Thompson. Doan. Zips it in far side. Sabres get set up in formation. Benson. To the line, Dahlin. Over to Tage Thompson, far side. Back through the middle. There's a shot for Quinn. That's fought off by Dobish. Bouncing puck. Swatted over by Quinn. Far side. Thompson trying to move it down low. That comes out to center. Habs get it back into their own zone. Matheson will just kill time here. And then fire it all the way out down the ice.
That's such a clever play by Matheson. He knows he's got the Sabres in an offside position. Retreats a little bit. Buys a few more seconds for the Habs.
Here goes Dahlin. Charging in for Buffalo. Minute to go in the power play. Battle in the near corner. Puck spills loose, and Goulet takes out Zucker into the outside of the net as the Habs force it all the way back out down the ice. It was a strong play by Caden Goulet. As here goes Tuck through center with speed down the right side. Angles it off the boards. Byram gets to it at the point. And it's knocked away, though, by Jake Evans. Out to center. Here's Newhook. In over the line. 30 seconds to kill. He'll just spin it to the far corner. Sabres running out of time on the power play. Still trailing 2-1. Right side, Tuck over the Montreal line. Cut off along the boards, and that should do it for the power play as the Habs fire it all the way out down the ice.
Got some kind of physical battle along the wall with Newhook, who clears Tuck out, takes him away off of his feet. That's an easy clearance for the Canadiens.
Big PK for the Canadiens as the Sabres come back in behind the Montreal net. 5-on-5, 16-16 to go in the third. 2-1 Habs lead in Game 7. Malenstein, near side hash marks. Plays it off the end boards. Behind the Montreal net. Shoveled around near side. Byram unable to hold it in. Back to center it goes. Power steps through the middle. Hands off far side. Long shot blocked away by Dobish. Jordan Greenway spins it wide of the net. And the Canadiens try and chip it out. Can't. Long shot. Just swatted in on Dobish. No problem there. And the Canadiens fire this out down the ice. And they're going to whistle this down for an icing call.
Lane Hudson collects his puck and does something that is, Goulet does something That is quite unlike him. He turns, just fires the puck blindly, but knows he's got to get the puck out of the zone and get a breath for he and his teammates.
15:32 left in the third.
You know, you tack on the first couple of minutes, the first moments of the third period, the penalty kill, and the game has been played in the third period in the Canadian zone.
False start on the face-off. We'll reload again. Sabres win it back. Far side for the point. Dahlin maneuvers through the slot. Wrister, that one missed. Knocked down side of the net. Benson trying to chop it back in front. Settled down by Philip Deneau, and he'll play it to center ice. Deneau back on it again. He'll pass it back into his own end. Canadians will kill some time here. Lane Hudson dishes off. Evans to center, has it knocked away by Quinn. Quinn trying to move into the Montreal zone. He's stripped of the puck. Demidov under pressure in the corner. Up the wings, Sabres win the battle off the forecheck. Hellenis back down low, nobody there for Buffalo, and that'll allow Lane Hudson to venture ahead. He's got Matheson back there. Again, Sabres all over them on the forecheck, but Matheson escapes to center. Over the line, Newhook down the wing. Shot turned away by Luukkonen. Sabres look back to center ice. They don't get there. That's cut off by Suzuki. Matheson from the line. Shot. That one goes off the crossbar. That might have taken a redirection on the way there. Is Matheson left side. Low try. That's stopped by Luukkonen. Near side, Suzuki. Lays it down low. Demidov centers right to Zucker. And here go the Sabres through center ice. Hellenis right wing. Moves it back through the middle. Byram with a try. That one goes wide.
The second wave jumped in so quickly.
Hellenis over to Byram. Big shot blocked by Matheson. Far side. Another try. Stopped by Dobish. And he got hit by Zucker in front. As the puck was covered up. 13:47 to go in the third. And it stays 2-1 Montreal.
Back and forth this puck goes, and there's no sign that this could potentially be a penalty as Zucker barrels over Dobish. It's a one-timer that comes in. Dobish pleading his case. Matheson earlier on with the wrist shot that catches the iron. That would have taken all of the sting out of the Buffalo Sabres attack.
Well, you buckle up here. 13:47 to go in the third. 2-1 Montreal in Game 7.
All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast recording, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Montreal Canadiens is expressly prohibited.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
Catch everything soccer with Bell's Game Time Bundle.
What about every save? Every header? Tackle? Slide tackle?
Yep.
Penalty kick? Bicycle kick? Every celebration?
Watch every moment with 5TV with RDS and more sports channels. Plus 500 internet. All for $99 a month. Includes autopay credit. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell. Connection is everything.
This is Montreal Canadiens hockey on your home of the Habs, TSN 690.
13:47 to go in the third. Montreal up 2-1. Matheson almost made it 3-1, and then Jakub Dobish keeps it 2-1 with a big save in front, but he paid the price with a hit from Jason Zucker.
Well, Jason Zucker comes flying in afterwards. And listen, you can't fault the forward for coming in as he's trying to find that rebound. But I'm stunned that this was not called. Dobish definitely puts a little bit on it, but Zucker makes no attempt to try and get out of the way. If I'm Dobish and I'm having the conversation with the referee, I'm making sure that I'm saying you owe me one on this, and if anybody else comes into my crease, I'm expecting something from you. You can see the reaction as well from Nick Suzuki with a little rabbit punch to the face.
Face-off blocker sign on Dobish. It's won back by Montreal. Can't get it out. Power held it in. There's a shot from Tuck. That's off the stick of Dobish. It goes high out of play.
The opportunity to clear the zone as that gets to Gooley. Gooley rims it around, but rather than the puck clearing the zone, it ends up getting caught up at the blue line, fed right back in, and Tuck gets an opportunity.
Face it off again on the near side. This will be McLeod versus Deneau. Deneau 8 for 14 tonight. McLeod 6 for 10. And it's a clean win for Buffalo. Power from the line, passes off, and they score! Rasmus Dahlin has tied Game 7 at 2-2.
This is an easy one for the Buffalo Sabres as they win the face-off clean. Bolduc cannot get out to the point. There's a little bit of interference that's run on him. He gets the wrong angle on Owen Power, who's running along the blue line. And that's the trigger that Dahlin needs to get down into the tops of the circle area. He takes this pass, and it's off of his stick immediately, and it beats Dobish on the short side. Perfect execution off that lost face-off for the Sabres.
So 13:30 to play in period number 3, and we have ourselves a brand new Game 7. Rasmus Dahlin, with points in 5 straight, is 4th in the Stanley Cup playoffs, is tied it at 2 at 6:26 of the third. Power and McLeod with the assists for the Sabres. Buffalo back into their own zone. Slavkovsky on the forecheck. Taken away by Dahlin. Out to center it goes for Thompson. Habs pick it off. Here's Caulfield the other way. Hands off. Slavkovsky with a shot, and he rifles that one high. That goes off the glass and out of play.
A little neutral zone transition by the Canadiens as Caulfield collects his puck, finds the blue line, continues to drive on, and Slavkovsky blows his shot high.
Not a bad look for the Habs.
Well, listen, when's the last time that you saw the Canadiens come in with that type of set play? It's been quite a while. Marty St. Louis knows that his team is reeling right now, and they need a little bit of help. He's looking out in the ice and hoping that his first line can deliver.
Habs do not have a shot yet in this third period. Ozone face-off for Deneau. He wins it right back to Lane Hudson. Can't get it through to the net. It ricochets all the way back out through center ice. And Dobson will track it down deep at his own end. Sabres in on the forecheck. Quinn goes down. Played behind the net. Dobson there to secure it. Moved out to center. Texier is on it for Montreal. Driving into the attacking zone. Back for Lane Hudson. Near side to the point. Dobson with a wrister. Ricochets back to him off a body. Far side. Dobson across. Taken in by Deneau. Long shot. Bounces around on Luukkonen. Into the near corner it goes. Sabres come away with it. Through center. Hellenis moves in. Stops. Slow shot. Kick saved by Dobish off a crafty move from Koch to Hellenis. Habs push it out to center. Deneau near side. They'll just toss it in on Luukkonen, who's going to cover up. With 11:53 to go in the third.
Well, Deneau knows exactly what he's doing with that play. As he crosses the blue line, there's no real options. So rather than just chip the puck in or get caught and have the puck stripped, he just fires a little roller in on Luukkonen, who's got no choice but to cover up. Canadiens have an offensive zone faceoff. That last little play that we saw from Hellenis, that is a crafty play as he just hits the brakes, lets the Canadian defender skate past him, and gets a pretty decent shot in on net on Dobish.
Face-off win for Montreal. Loose puck, far side Sabres zone. Played into the corner. Samuelson's there for it. And now Alex Tuch drives ahead to center ice. Moved in off the boards. Dobish stops it.
Keeps it moving to the near side point. It'll be cut off there by McLeod. Timmins with a wrister. That bounces to the far side. Samuelson steps up on it. And behind the net, Samuelson goes down. Fans looking for a call. Won't get one, though. Timmins at the line. Dishes off far side. McLeod driving it down low. Hits the brakes. Fished away by Evans. He'll try and play it out. Again, unable to do so. Finally poked to center by Demidov, though. Habs reload, change up the lines, and here goes Matheson to center. 10:56 to go in Game 7. 2-2 the tie in period number 3. Matheson still in his own end. Feeds it up to center. Picked off by Benson. Right side, Benson skates it in. Down low, broken stick here behind the Montreal net. As the Habs try and find a way out to center, it'll be thrown over to Dobson. He'll connect with Suzuki. Down the near side, Suzuki to the attacking zone. Floats it back. Matheson over to Dobson. Far corner, Slavkovsky shot loose in front. This will be covered up by Luukkonen. And that might just count as the first official shot on net in this third period for Montreal.
But 4 Sabres collapse to the net as Caulfield was trying to find that rebound off the shot from Slavkovsky. He's bouncing around for second, but no chance anybody's getting anywhere near that puck.
It's the big frame of Owen Power boxing out. Caulfield in front. Power at 6'6", 218 pounds.
Face-off blocker side on Luukkonen. It's won back by Buffalo, controlled by Byram. Played up the far side, now out to center. Buffalo in transition, Malenstein. Tried to filter through the middle for Krebs. Deep in the Habs zone, Krebs to the line, long shot, and that got through on Dobish. Buffalo tap it in, but the whistle had sounded. Sabres think they've scored. And I think Dobish had that. It was jammed at. It came loose, and the Sabres put it through.
Well, you can see both benches having a look. But again, Dobish looks up immediately to his left as this stick comes in from Greenway. Greenway jabs at it. It does come loose through his legs. But it looked like Dobish had that puck covered up.
I don't think there's any question there, JP. That's the stick jam from Jordan Greenway that knocks the puck loose. It should not count.
There's no reaction from Dobish over to get his hand up, looking for the interference call.
9:59 to go in the third. We're going to take a break here. Still tied at 2 on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Catch everything soccer with Bell's Game Time Bundle.
What about every save? Every header? Tackle? Slide tackle?
Yep.
Penalty kick? Bicycle kick? Every celebration?
Watch every moment with 5TV with RDS and more sports channels. Plus 500 internet. All for $99 a month. Includes autopay credit. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell. Connection is everything.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
The Montreal Canadiens Fan Jam, presented by Lacache, comes to life for the playoffs. Be there for the biggest outdoor party in the city, featuring tattoos, a barber, food, drinks, and more. Rain or shine, join us at the Canadiens Plaza next to the Bell Center before home games only. Free admission, but first come, first served. Experience the playoff frenzy with the most passionate fans. Get all the details at playoffs.canadiens.com.
The home of your Montreal Canadiens. TSN 690.
9:59 to go in the third period of Game 7. And the pressure is on for the Montreal Canadiens. We've got ourselves a 2-2 tie game.
And 10 minutes to go in regulation as the Habs move it out to center. Sabres take it away, fling it right back in, and they've iced the puck here. So prior to the break, we saw that little poke play that jammed the puck loose, and as we suspected, there's no goal on the play.
There's Jordan Greenway, and is a big man in front of the net trying to handle him, and you can't fault him for trying to get his stick in. He'll claim that it was 50-50, but Dobesh had it covered. The moment it came back to him, he didn't even try and make a save on it, just got his arms up in the air to complain. No question about it right now, though. The Buffalo Sabres are playing much faster. They're far more confident out on the ice than the Canadiens are.
D-zone faceoff win for the Sabres. Dahlin snaps it around. Carrier at center. Picked up by Demidov. Hands off to Evans. He'll throw it in. Habs have it at the line. Here's Matheson. They'll get set up 5-on-5. Long shot from Evans, and a pad save made by Luukkonen. Now moved off the boards out to center. Evans under pressure. He'll get it free over to Newhook, near side. Played right back around. Evans tried to center it for Demidov. Chopped away and almost right to Newhook for a shot. He'll throw it on and just wide, blocker side. Now Gooley, centering try. That's boxed out. And the Sabres come ahead to center with Norris. He'll toss it in. Change on both sides. Sabres again in on the forecheck. Hudson comes away to center with it. He'll throw it in. Cross ice to the corner. McLeod feeds it right back up for Tuck. Wristing it in from center. Rides around to Lane Hudson. Taken away though by Tuck. Feeds it to the line for Byram. Byram, near side backhand try, and he lifts that one off the mark. It'll go out of play.
We're starting to see the Byram that we saw in the first round. The guy who had 4 points in the first 5 games of that series. Byram walks the blue line. There's a bit of a change, just trying to get the Canadiens crossed up. Byram gets the angle that he needs, but just gets under it on the backhand and hoists it up into the protective netting.
8:23 to go in Game 7. Face off of the Habs zone. Danault in to take the draw versus Konsta-Helenius. It's a win for Danault. Habs able to push it out to center. Sabres take it over there. Power. Ahead for Quinn, tipped in. This could be icing, but it won't be. Sabres go after it deep in the Montreal zone. Centering try for Helenius. On the mark, the shot is stopped and covered by Dobish.
That's Zucker who comes in and takes Danault out, wins the puck battle, and fires the puck out to Helenius, who was following up, just made some good read, but understands as soon as that puck gets turned over, I got to get to the front of the net. Zucker makes a nice play, and Helenius can't elevate in time.
.8:03 to play. 2-2 tie. Face-off glove side on Dobish, controlled by the Habs. And it'll be tossed to center by Texier. Bouncing around. Still loose in neutral territory. It'll be claimed by Buffalo. Bounced in off of Texier. Settled down by Matheson. He'll take his time with it. Habs are going to get a line change. Suzuki's line is on the ice. Matheson feeds it ahead. Slavkovsky flips it in off the backhand. Driving around the net, centering try, rolls to the line. Hudson, far side. Dobson back across. Hudson up high again with a shot knocked down in front. Settled along the end boards by Buffalo. Habs going right back after it.
A better sequence by the Canadiens first line.
Big battle here near side. Knocked loose by Buffalo, and out to center they go. Gently moved into the Habs zone. Malenstein in on the forecheck. He'll drive Hudson into the end boards. And Hudson absorbs another check from Krebs. Sabres get it loose. To the line, Samuelson with his shot. He rolled that one wide. Byram near side, tied up with Caulfield. Habs float it to center. That's taken away by Thompson, given right back to Montreal. They need a line change here. Hudson will hang on to it. New skaters on the ice. It's Newhook with Demidov through the middle. Here's Newhook trying a shot, and this ends up wide into the far corner. Evans out there as well. Habs at the line. Long shot bounces wide from Carrier, and it's covered at the side by Luukkonen.
It's an opportunity for Newhook as he comes down the middle of the ice. Just can't get enough on it. But you can see the strength of Demidov, who follows this puck up into the corner and clears Samuelson out of the way.
That'll leave 6:16 to go in the third. Shots 31-20 Buffalo. This game is tied at 2. Canadiens already got their go-ahead eventual game winner from Alex Newhook in Game 7 versus Tampa at this point. He scored with 8:53 to go in the third. So Sabres win the D-zone face-off. It's rolled up to center ice. Picked up by Demidov. Comes right back in. Pressured from behind by Tuch. And the Sabres able to force it out. Back to the Montreal zone. Dobson is on it. Stationary in his own end. He'll snap it up the far side. Canadiens to the line, broken up. Gooley. Another try to shoot it in. He does. So it comes over to Power. Back behind the net. Byram coughed it up. Texier down low. Far corner. Swings it back into the near side corner for Deneau. Philip Deneau drives in behind the net. Feeds the line. Matheson. Back down low. To the far corner. Play to the near side for Tuch. Take it away and out to center. Here goes McLeod. Right side McLeod. Stops in the Montreal zone. Feeds it through the middle. Dahlin with a shot. And Jakub Dobeš square to that. Makes the save and hangs on. 5:05 to go in Game 7 between Montreal and Buffalo. Still tied at 2. We're back in a moment after this on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Catch everything soccer with Bell's Game Time Bundle.
What about every save? Every header? Tackle? Slide tackle?
Yep.
Penalty kick? Bicycle kick? Every celebration?
Watch every moment with 5TV with RDS and more sports channels. Plus 500 internet. All for $99 a month. Includes autopay credit. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell. Connection is everything.
The Montreal Canadiens Fan Jam, presented by Lacache, comes to life for the playoffs. Be there for the biggest outdoor party in the city, featuring tattoos, a barber, food, drinks, and more. Rain or shine, join us at the Canadiens Plaza next to the Bell Center before home games only. Free admission, but first come, first served. Experience the playoff frenzy with the most passionate fans. Get all the details at playoffs.canadiens.com.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
This is Montreal Canadiens hockey on your home of the Habs, TSN 690.
5:05 to go in the third period of Game 7. The score is tied at 2, and JP O'Connor, this is what you dream of as a kid. Chance to be a hero. We're not in overtime yet, but we might as well be between Montreal and Buffalo.
Well, Victor, I think you had the perfect song when you came in tonight with Heroes with David Bowie, and everybody is thinking that because there's no question, I think next goal wins this game. Buffalo are looking like they are the fresher team out on the ice, but you really only need one shot.
Tie up off the draw, glove side on Dobeš. Sabres win it away. Benson carries in behind the net. Shielding the puck from Carrier. Thompson down there as well. Thompson able to pick it off. Still got Carrier to contend with. Finds the line as here's Dahlin with a one-time drive. His stick snapped in 2. Centered in front, scooped up by Slavkovsky, and the Habs will drive it to center.
Far side Suzuki just throws it in. Samuelson back for it. Played behind the net. Wide open in front. This is chopped away as Suzuki almost had a point-blank opportunity. Back the other way. Quinn trying to make a move on Hudson. Unable to do so as it's taken away by Dobson. Habs to center. Knocked down by Bowen Byram. He's got Cole Caulfield all over him. Behind the Sabre net, Power. Works it over to Byram.
With back-to-back shifts, the Suzuki line has looked more threatening.
Sabres drive into the Montreal zone. Centering try. Demidov there to take it away from Hellenis. And here he goes to center with speed. Demidov, far side, cross ice. Good read by Byram. Able to take it away from Jake Evans. And here goes Buffalo to center. Hellenis throws it in. And the Canadiens settle it down. Carrier. Up to center ice. Crosses the red line, fires it in. Sabres to center. Josh Doan trying to collect it out of his feet. Goes over to Timmins. And now move back in. Here's Doan right side. Cross ice dump to the corner. Tuck swings and misses on it. End of a shift here for Demidov. He'll just play it down ice off the boards. Sabres quickly back in. Tuck right side. Drops it off. Dahlin shot. That's blocked. Off the redirection. It goes out of play. Josh Anderson got a piece of that with 3:01 to go.
Now that's a stretch pass from 2 zones away by Samuelson up to Tuck. Tuck turns his back and uses his size to buy time. The Canadiens, for the second time in a row, though, they lose track of Dahlin, who's busting it up ice to try and join the play. The first one he had a point-blank chance. The second time here, Anderson gets his stick in the way. But there has to be the understanding that somebody with the offensive skills that Dahlin has is going to be joining when it's 2-2 and 3 minutes left to go in a game.
Habs win the D-zone faceoff, just fly it out to center. Here goes Anderson racing after it. Got in for a partial break. It's stopped by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Sabres pick it up off the boards, out to center. Here's Thompson over the Montreal line. Rolls it around the boards, down low. Benson on it. Shakes off Hudson and got it over to Thompson. Short angle shot is stopped by Dobish as the Habs get to center and Texier flips it in.
Dobish seals that left post. The puck comes back from Benson. Thompson skating right onto it. Dobish is ready for it.
Chipped in far side to the corner. Montreal territory. Malenstein after it. Habs get away. And out to center they go. Suzuki. Over to Slavkovsky near side. Sabres zone. Sabres pick it off. Greenway follows it all the way down ice for the Montreal zone. Centers. Bounces around. Still loose in the slot. Settled down by Buffalo. Right side. Malenstein to the line. Timmins, his drive is blocked in front. Now to center. Caulfield gets worked over. Both teams need a line change here. 1:48 to go in the third. Quinn for Buffalo. In on the far side. Hits the brakes on Matheson. It's picked up by Demidov. Tossed off the boards, out to center. Chopped in rest of the way by Jake Evans. Samuelson first to it. Ahead for Hellenis. All the way back through center, gently into the Montreal zone with 1:20 to play.
2 shifts left here for the Canadiens.
Carrier to the neutral zone. In over the line. He'll wrist it around the Buffalo zone. Near side boards. Picked up by Josh Doan. Passing over to Ryan McLeod. Fished away by the Canadiens as we enter the final minute in Game 7. Still tied at 2. Gooley snaps it through center. Icing call against Montreal.
That puck comes over to Gooley. He looks up and he sees Texier up ice and tries to hit him with the stretch pass. But it's off the mark and it's going to be an icing. Josh Anderson very nearly ends this for the Canadiens as he gets into a foot race. He breaks past Owen Power, and just at the last moment, Power gets his stick in enough to disrupt Anderson. Just trying to chip it past Luukkonen.
Big face-off blocker side on Dobish. It's one back for Power, and he's forced out to center. He got caught up with his own line mates. Now Power at his own blue line. Good pass ahead for Thompson. Ramped into the Montreal zone. Sabres in on the forecheck. Matheson has it tied up, able to get it over to Texier. Taken away, though, by Benson at center. Back in off the right side. Norris rolls it in. Matheson goes to it with Tage Thompson behind the net. Tied up along the end boards. Habs get it free. 15 seconds to play. Texier at center. He'll whip it in. Stopped behind the Sabre net by Luukkonen, and that might be it. 5 seconds to go in the third. 7 games of regulation is not enough in this second round series. For the first time, Montreal and Buffalo are going to overtime.
Well, there's no question this is going to be the 11th and the final meeting of the season between these teams. Just going to take a little longer to figure out who's moving on.
Next goal wins the series and books their team a spot in the Eastern Conference Final. We're going to take a minute to reload here, and when we come back, it will be the end of regulation intermission roundtable on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Catch everything soccer with Bell's Game Time Bundle.
What about every save? Every header? Tackle? Slide tackle?
Yep.
Penalty kick? Bicycle kick? Every celebration?
Watch every moment with 5TV with RDS and more sports channels. Plus 500 internet. All for $99 a month. Includes autopay credit. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell. Connection is everything.
The Montreal Canadiens Fan Jam, presented by Lacache, comes to life for the playoffs. Be there for the biggest outdoor party in the city, featuring tattoos, a barber, food, drinks, and more. Rain or shine, join us at the Canadiens Plaza next to the Bell Center before home games only. Free admission, but first come, first served. Experience the playoff frenzy with the most passionate fans. Get all the details at playoffs.canadiens.com.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you, all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
Scoring big starts at Voisin. Through the playoffs, your 20-pack of Molson Canadian cans is at minimum price. Stop by Voisin before the puck drops. Voisin, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Abrisvo is an RSV vaccine. 60 or over? Talk to your healthcare provider about Pfizer's Abrisvo. Visit abrisvo.ca.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee, made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
Hi, it's Ken Connors. When I need to take a little break from keeping up with the news, you know what I do? I go get my Habs fix and I check in with Campbell versus Gallo. Sean and Mitch cover everything from why the team has a hard time protecting a lead to who should be playing on the first line with Nick and Cole. It's a great hang for any fan. They've got your hot takes, your Habs lunch. It's simply hockey heaven. Campbell versus Gallo, drop by any weekday morning after 10 like I do here on TSN 690.
This ad is paid for and approved by Campbell versus Gallo and unpaid associates.
The home of your Montreal Canadiens. TSN 690.
Moves it back through the middle. Byram with a try. That one goes wide.
The second wave jumped in so quickly.
Hellenis over to Byram. Big shot blocked by Matheson. Far side. Another try. Stopped by Domish. And he got hit by Zucker in front as the puck was covered up. 13:47 to go in the third, and it stays 2-1 Montreal. And it's a clean win for Buffalo. Power from the line, tosses off, and they score! Rasmus Dahlin has tied Game 7 at 2-2.
Buffalo in transition. Malenstein ready to filter through the middle for Krebs. Deep in the Habs zone. Krebs to the line. Long shot. And that got through on Dobish. Buffalo tap it in, but the whistle had sounded. Sabres think they've scored. But I think Dobish had that. It was jammed at. It came loose, and the Sabres put it through. Habs win the D-zone faceoff. Just fly it out to center. Here goes Anderson racing after it. Got in for a partial break. It's stopped by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Welcome back to Montreal Canadiens hockey on TSN 690. After 3 periods of play in Game 7, we're tied 2-2 between Buffalo and Montreal. Your third period scoring summary, 6:27 Rasmus Dahlin from Owen Power and Ryan McLeod. It was Dahlin's 4th goal of the postseason. By the way, the intermission between the third period and overtime is only 15 minutes, not 18 like your other intermission. So puck drop in the overtime period coming up in about 10 minutes. We have a intermission roundtable. Mitch Gallo, Lucas Scott, and JP O'Connor. Moments away here from Game 7 overtime. We're listening back to the highlights there. What did you guys think of the play with Zucker and Dobesh? The no call from the officials. Is that Dobesh trying a little too hard to sell a penalty? And at the same time, does Zucker make enough contact for the referee to call a penalty in that spot? Because it's going to be, at the end of the day, one of those big turning point moments in the game.
Sure. Listen, I can understand and I can appreciate referees trying to stay out of the way. But here's why I think that one could have resulted in an arm going up, Mitch, is throughout the game, you've seen Benson, you've seen Greenway, you've seen Malenstein, you've seen all of these guys in and around the crease, and what you've heard from the referees is stay out of that crease, stay out of the way, make sure you're not in that zone, back up, back up. You've been hearing them firing those warnings, and that is all to keep the goalie safe. That's to make sure that if something happens, it's not the goalie who's getting piled into, right? That's first and foremost. So if that is going to be the talking point, and you have a goalie who gets crashed into, does he sell it a little bit too much? Yes, I think he does. But I do think that there's enough contact there that all the things that you've said during the lead up to that, there has to be something that follows through that is a slap in the wrist so that it doesn't happen again. That's the way that I look at that. If I hadn't heard that from the referees all game, I would have said, oh, well, and that's the way it goes. You know, that could have just been as easily at the other end for the Canadiens, and they get away with one. But to me, it looked like that was plenty to merit a call.
Luca, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, listen, I understand that, Dobish may have embellished a slight bit, but it's not something like we saw last game with Lane Hudson, where Lane Hudson dove like 10 feet after getting slightly tripped. So I understand that, but at the end of the day, he did get run over. So it's like, what is he supposed to do? It's not like he's just gonna be a brick wall and not fall. It's obviously he's gonna fall and have some sort of reaction after the fact. And I think what makes it worse is that Buffalo scores right off after that. Yeah. Right, to tie up the game, and it may be if Buffalo scores 10 minutes later, okay, maybe it's not as much of a
as glaring, right?
Yes,
yeah.
But the fact that they score immediately on the faceoff after that play, I think will highlight that even more.
I mean, as far as the embellishment, if it's embellishment, fine, call embellishment, call goalie interference, go 4-on-4, right? Or the other way I look at it is maybe Dobesh is embellishing the way he is because he's being run into all game, and he needs to sell it for you to see that they're making contact.
Yep.
So I don't know. I thought that
you had it as a penalty though, Mitch.
Oh yeah. I mean, he hit him right in the head.
Yep.
Like you can't have just a free for all in the goaltenders. It doesn't make sense. No. Now, JP, the other thing I was really looking forward to asking you about, especially with the areas that you have expertise, is face-offs.
Yeah.
Right? So Luca mentions the goal comes right after the collision. Basically, Montreal's hemmed in. They get another whistle inside their zone, and then Dano loses the face-off back.
Sure.
Now, JP, what happened on that face-off play? Because as far as I'm aware, when you play a team 7 games in a row, and you have so many face-offs and so many situations, and you've reviewed the tape, there shouldn't be much new that teams are throwing at you in that situation. Why did Montreal, and specifically, when I'm breaking it down, Doc, get so crossed up on that play?
Well, listen, there's always going to be communication, right? At the line, you have to know where you're going, and where the problem starts is forget Doc for a second. Let's back it up. You can't lose that face-off clean, right? That's just. Nobody knows that more than Deno. It can't be a clean loss. You have to, at the very minimum, scramble the play. And then as that play gets one clean, what happens immediately afterwards, if you've got Bolduc who goes flying out, and instead of taking the inside-out angle, he takes the outside-in. So he comes in towards the center, which is not a bad play because your first step is to try to come in and help. But the problem there is that as the play rolls on, he gets squeezed out. He gets pushed out closer to the board, so it allows a lane to open up for Owen Power. Owen Power spots it. He knows exactly what he needs to do, and he's got to get to the middle line of the ice where the ice goes either left or it goes to the right. And as he gets to that point, that is the trigger for Dahlin to start walking down the wall, which he does. And give Owen Power credit. He could have fired the puck, but he holds and he holds and he holds, and he puts Doc in a really compromised position. Do I come out to challenge, or do I back off and Doc gets caught in no man's land? There's no way he's going to catch up to that puck, and it's a quick pass out to the side and a terrific finish by Dahlin, who's just on fire right now. He's unconscious. So it starts with the clean loss. It follows it up by a bad angle by Bolduc, who gets pushed out. Owen Power makes a nice play, and Kirby Dach gets hung out to dry. Could he have made a decision to say, sure, I'm going to go out and I'm going to challenge Power? But what ends up happening is that it would go right over to Dahlin, and he'd have a clean lane in. Or do I go out to Dahlin and then I just let Power walk straight into the net? So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But there are always a couple of errors that happen prior to the goal going in, and that explains it.
All right, let's pick one each to score the overtime winner. Luca, let's start with you. Who wins this big Game 7?
I'm going to say Ivan Demidov.
Going with a Demidov, who is still looking for his first shot on goal. Maybe the first shot hits the back of the net. JP?
I'll go for Hudson on a second wave. Joins the play, and it's on a second wave.
Ah, damn it.
You could go for Hudson on a third wave.
I like the Hudson pick, and because you went with that, I'll say similar scenario with the goal, but give me Dobson.
Love it.
Dobson to win it. All right, guys, go get ready for the overtime period. Should be fun.
Thank you, Mitch.
There's JP O'Connor coming back in about, where are we at here? 3 minutes and 30 seconds with puck drop alongside Victor Finley. I'm Mitch Gell with Lucas Scott. It's Canadiens and Sabres all tied up at 2. Overtime of Game 7 is next.
The Montreal Canadiens Fan Jam, presented by Lacache, comes to life for the playoffs. Be there for the biggest outdoor party in the city, featuring tattoos, a barber, food, drinks, and more. Rain or shine, join us at the Canadiens Plaza next to the Bell Center before home games only. Free admission, but first come, first served. Experience the playoff frenzy with the most passionate fans. Get all the details at playoffs.canadiens.com.
Montreal, the moment you've all been waiting for. Teddy Swims, The Ugly Tour. October 7th at the Bell Center. Get your tickets at teddyswims.com.
Catch everything soccer with Bell's Game Time Bundle.
What about every save? Every header? Tackle? Slide tackle?
Yep.
Penalty kick? Bicycle kick? Every celebration?
Watch every moment with 5TV with RDS and more sports channels. Plus 500 internet. All for $99 a month. Includes autopay credit. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell. Connection is everything.
Voisin knows everything tastes better after a win. This playoff season, when the Habs take the win, the celebration continues at Voisin. Swing by the following day for a free small Bleu Blanc Rouge slush. Voisin, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Details and conditions in store.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
This is Montreal Canadiens hockey on your home of the Habs, TSN 690.
KeyBank Center, Buffalo, New York, Game 7, overtime. On deck between the Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres. Victor Finley with JP O'Connor on the call. One Game 7 victory in the history of the Buffalo Sabres franchise. Back in '97, Ottawa Senators overtime. Derek Plant tied the game in the third. He won it in overtime for them. They've lost 2 others in OT as well, including their first Game 7 back in '83 to Boston. Brad Park scored twice in that game, and Lindy Ruff was on the other side as a player for Buffalo. The Canadiens, JP, have won 3 of their Game 7s in overtime. Russ Courtnall, Yvon Lambert, and Claude Lemieux.
Well, the Sabres have never won a series after trailing 2-1, but here they are, right on the precipice of moving on to the Eastern Conference Final. Now, as we get into the overtime session, you're looking for puck management all over the place for both of these teams. Nobody wants to make a mistake, but somebody does have to take control to see if they can end this.
Somebody is going to go down in history as a franchise hero tonight. We'll find out who. As the Buffalo Sabres win the faceoff at center, the Canadiens are moving left to right. Long change here in the first overtime period as the Habs go back into their own zone. Matheson. Play to the near side. Slavkovsky ahead. Taken away by Buffalo. Trying to come back in over the line. It's Corral. There's a shot for Benson. Stopped by Dobish. First real chance of overtime about 30 seconds in belongs to Buffalo.
That puck gets stolen from Mike Matheson, and Benson gets a grade A chance early.
Habs play it in. Suzuki near corner. Round to the far side. Held in at the line by Lane Hudson. Here's Demidov with a shot, and he didn't get much of that. Carries well wide. All the way out to center. Hudson back on it. Off the boards, gave it right to Matthias Samuelsson. He'll just throw it in. The Sabres need a line change. Canadiens control behind their own net. Dobson with Newhook. Evans, Demidov still on the ice. Has try and snap it in from center. They don't get very far. It's a weak one right to Tuck. Sabres having some trouble getting it out though here with Owen Power. He's forced to move it around to the near side for Byram. Skip to the line. Evans plays it back in. Power on it. Off the boards to Byram. Sabres to center. Here's Consta Hellenis. Down the wing. Montreal zone. Jack Quinn tied up with Gooley. Puck comes around for Carrier far side. And out of the corner from behind the net. 2 minutes gone in overtime. He'll work his way up to center ice. Habs fire it in. Sabres to it. All the way back to center. Gooley gets it over to Carrier. Habs will shoot it in again. They're going to call this offside, I believe.
Well, it's exactly the call as Nick Suzuki has this puck, and it's Kirby Dach who's trying to exit the ice. You know, if you're the Buffalo Sabres, you got to feel great about yourself for battling back into that game. The first period, the Canadiens looked like they were going to run away with it, but Greenway gets a goal. Darlene follows one up in the third period, but at the same time, you got to be frustrated that you didn't put the Canadiens away when you can. So now all bets are off. Brand new game here in overtime.
Sabres in their own zone. Pass it ahead to center. Texier is there, and he'll fire it back in for Montreal. Owen Power drives around to the far corner. Tied up here. The Habs get it loose. Deneau feeds the line. Here's Matheson on his backhand. Tried to center it. No luck there. That's boxed out by Connor Timmins. Sabres fly it to center. And moved in over the line for Mike Matheson. Back down ice. Here's Dobson right side.
carries in, throws it around, takes a funny bounce behind the net, settles down though for Buffalo, and they'll just launch it back out to center. Misplayed by Tage Thompson. That allows Lane Hudson to pick it up for the Canadiens.
I'll tell you what, if I'm Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, I'm thinking about that corner if the puck gets dumped in again.
And it does. This time it goes as normally to the far side. Battle for it down low in the Buffalo zone. Comes back for Gooley. Far side. Here's Caulfield. Swings it down low. Slavkovsky will get to it. Along the hash marks. Held up, and Zach Benson skates away to center for Buffalo. Down the far side, Norris lost a step. Vicious battle here with Gooley, but Gooley's able to win it back for Lane Hudson behind the net.
Well, those two have been going at it all game long.
16-10 to go in Game 7 overtime. Lane Hudson dishes it off left side. Habs will filter it in from center. Power first to it. Forecheck for Montreal. Get in there and get the puck. Here's Evans. To the line. Cross ice. Carrier shot. That one skips wide. Evans centers. That goes back to the line. Carrier to the far point. Matheson. Broken stick here. It belongs to Tuck. Matheson shot big. Blocked by Tuck. He got his leg on it. Comes out to center, and Tuck will get off the ice. Evans tries to play to the net. Here's a shot from Newhook. That one goes wide. And the Sabres launch it out through center. Foot race for it. They're going to say Jake Evans had the angle. And it'll be an icing call on Buffalo.
Well, that is the right call. It's a safety play on that, as Evans does have the inside edge. Stone coming down. The Canadiens do get a couple of quick looks early on. And I will say this, I mentioned it, that Pekka Luukkonen is going to have to pay attention to that dump. The Canadiens are doing something that they haven't done well throughout this game. And for the first 3 dumps that they had in this overtime session, they are making sure it's either a short side or it's getting past Luukkonen so that they can recover it.
Sabres win the face-off. Lob it to center. Quinn plays it in. Have settle it down behind the net. On the breakout, they go to center ice with Suzuki far side. Lost it. Quinn the other way. Stripped of it by Hudson. Then he gave it away to Konsta Helenius. Onside, far wing, Helenius. From the hash marks to the line. Shot incoming. That one stopped by Dobish, and it goes out of play over the glass.
Helenius just not afraid as he gets this puck. Buys himself a little bit of time in the corner. Gets it back to the point. And that shot gets delivered in. Helenius playing himself quite the game.
He's got a pair of goals in this series for Buffalo since being inserted into the lineup. That was ahead of Game 4. Only played 9 regular season games with the Buffalo Sabres.
Over the 15-minute mark. It'll just be a matter of moments here before Lane Hudson crosses the 30-minute threshold.
Face off in the Montreal zone. Norris versus Philip Deneau. Norris 15 for 22 tonight. Deneau wins this one. Has played to center, trying to spring Anderson for the break. Unable to do so here. Norris carries in left side. Drops it off. Thompson with a shot. That one shattered his stick. Canadiens drive ahead to center. Here's Carrier. Over the line, off to Josh Anderson. Shot. That one goes wide. Right side off the boards. Texier in the corner. Out to Anderson. Shot. And that one goes wide. That might have caught a piece of the goalpost. Far side, Dobson. Walks the line. Shot incoming. Over to the far side boards. It goes off a body. To the line. Matheson. Stripped to the puck by Norris. Out to Thompson. Here go the Sabres. Thompson moving in. Shot. And can't get it through Dobish. Centered again, over to the far side for Norris, to the line. Here's a try for Connor Timmins, and that goes out of play off a body as Dobish had lost his goal stick. And he will get a breather here with 13:51 to go in OT.
The display of skill, of strength, and overall quality that we just saw from Tage Thompson as he walks this puck in is incredible. He had Jake Evans all over him on the 2-on-1. Everybody's scrambling back. You can see the Buffalo bench. They think this might be it. And he almost outweights everybody, including Dobesh, who was laying on his belly. Right before that, Josh Anderson off the post.
Face off, far side, glove side on Jakub Dobesh. McLeod versus Evans. Sabres try and win it back. Rattles around. It is settled down by McLeod, far side. Throws it down low, side of the net, nudged over by Dobesh. Habs able to sky it out to center. Now all the way back for it is Connor Timmins. They'll throw it up ice. Tuck through center. Drives the middle and tried to defer to the far side. He's tied up with Hudson. Canadiens trying to lift it out. Glove down by Doan. And swung down low. Nobody there for the Sabres. Canadiens fly it to center. Sabres right back in. Here's McLeod near side. Tries a shot off a leg. Now Dahlin. His wrister's blocked. It ricochets all the way back down the ice, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen gets out to make a play on it.
Well, this is one of the dangers that the Canadiens will have if they just keep flicking pucks out in the middle. They'll find themselves chasing like they did in the first and second periods.
Sabres to center with speed. Broken up, though, at the line. Good stick by Montreal, and now it's settled down by Dahlin as the Sabres advance to center. This will be rainbowed in over the line by Quinn. Canadiens get to it with Mike Matheson far side. Played all the way out down the ice. And Matthias Samuelsson will be back to recover.
The Canadiens need to get their feet moving so they can get a little bit more possession.
12:22 to go in overtime. Game 7 tied at 2. Carrier in his own zone. Threads it over to Matheson. Near side off the boards. Malenstein holds it in. Dobesh out to play it. Able to find Carrier far side, and he'll get that out through center. And right to Luukkonen as he'll guide it to Samuelsson. Back to center. It's picked up by Evans. Jake Evans far side, twisting in. Offering to the net, goes down the far side and rolls in behind. Picked up by Buffalo, played off the glass and down the ice. This should be icing, and it will be.
We saw that sequence with Jake Evans in the corner. Just get a little bit of setup, and then Josh Anderson heads in, drops his shoulder. But you can start to see now that both teams kind of settled in. There's some bursts here and there, but the energy seems to have kind of come out of the game a little bit.
Face off far side on Luukkonen. It's controlled by Buffalo. And the Sabres toss it out through center, and they might have just iced it again. And that is an unnecessary icing call as Jordan Greenway throws it away.
Now he's just looking to see if that puck would check up, but it does not. Now, that said, are you able to get a line change in? No, you're not. But you still do get a bit of a breather.
Canadiens keep the Danault, Anderson, Texier trio on the ice. Face-off win for Montreal. Here's Hudson at the line. Near side, trying to shake off Krebs. Shot from Hudson goes well wide off the body. Far side corner, Texier. Held up along the boards by Timmins. Steered over to Samuelsson. He's tied up by Anderson. Puck comes loose, near corner. Lane Hudson raging in. Moves it over. Anderson behind the net. Centers, bouncing around. No one there, though, for Montreal. And the Sabres desperately need a line change. They're going to get one here off the glass. Will this go for icing? No, it won't. Icing is waived, and Buffalo get 5 fresh skaters onto the ice.
Lane Hudson was back to collect that puck. Just didn't make it over the line in time.
Habs rolling in from center. Byram back with Suzuki. Picked off by Slavkovsky. Got a shot away. Luukkonen to save it. Here goes Buffalo to center. 3-on-2. Norris, far side, slows down, passes off. Shot incoming from Thompson. Hit a body and rolls wide. Caulfield, solo mission to center. He'll shoot it in. And the Sabres flatten it down in their own zone. Up to center. Here's Benson. Left side. Tries to cut through into the middle. This is taken away by Carrier. Feathered off the glass and out. Habs drive in over the line. Far side, Demidov turns it back to the line. Hands off to Dobson. Behind the net, Newhook on it. Pressured by Rasmus Dahlin. Now here's Jake Evans. Centers, shot incoming from Demidov. Redirected off a body to the corner. And played to center by Buffalo. Not very far. Dobson back in. He's stripped to the puck. And now down ice it goes for Josh Doan. Driving inside of the net. Dobish makes a save. Doan on the far wing now. Pickpocketed by Matheson. Mike Matheson under pressure from Doan. Rolls it out to center. Sabres settle it down. 9:22 to go in overtime. Buffalo backing over the line. Hellenis with a shot that goes high off the glass and around out to center ice for Timmins.
A quick snap of the wrist by Hellenis. A pretty impressive pace on that shot.
Back into the Sabres zone. The Canadiens have iced the puck.
This puck gets flung all the way across the ice. And it's Texier who tries to get a stick on it just to deflect it into the zone, but makes an error. And that is an unforced error indeed, as the Canadiens will find themselves down in their own zone.
Might get the benefit here of the scrape anyways. There's only one timeout in the third period, or rather in overtime, playoff hockey that comes after the 10-minute mark. And I think regardless of the icing here, they're going to do just that here. So a bit of a breather for Montreal, JP.
Yeah, well, we've seen a couple opportunities on both ends. Josh Anderson with a glorious opportunity. And if I'm looking at the Canadiens right now, I'm looking squarely at Ivan Demidov. Demidov looks very dangerous, and as is always the case, even in regular season overtime, he is great at the one-on-ones. He will make one person miss, and then everybody gets into scramble mode. He's so crafty, and he's so strong on the puck that he forces you into making some tough decisions. Demidov is looking good, and as I mentioned on that sequence with Thompson, he comes in with the reach and the strength and the creativity to make a lot of Canadians miss. Dobesh comes up with a big save to extend this game.
So 9:08 to go in overtime. Shots are tied at 2 in OT thus far, and both teams have had ample time in the attacking zone, JP.
Yeah, they have indeed. Unforced error, as we said, though, with Texier. Canadiens will get the opportunity to get a breather as they're heading back down to get set up for this face-off.
So we blocker side on Dobish. Still a packed house at KeyBank Center as the second round is dragging on past what we scheduled for. First overtime tonight. Game 1 will be in Carolina on Thursday. The question is, who are the Hurricanes going to play?
Well, we saw a set play in the third period. We've seen the Canadiens run some interesting set plays when they've dominated the face-off game in this series. Here's another opportunity as Norris is in to take the draw.
And it goes back for Dahlin. Long shot. That's scooped up by Dobish, and there's no rebound here as he hangs on.
That's Dahlin at the point, and he doesn't lean into this one. He just kind of floats it in, but there's no traffic in front of the net, and that's an easy save.
Sabres will get another shot at it here as Deneau will stay in. Actually, check that. It'll be Jake Evans to take this face off.
That's on the right-hand side. It's an easier play for Evans coming in on Norris.
50-50 puck off the draw. And it's controlled in the corner. Buffalo on it. Trying to break loose. Here's Tage Thompson. Ristner through traffic, and Dobish able to find that. And he will vacuum that up for another whistle.
It doesn't need a lot of space. The minute that Thompson gets control of that puck, he just brings it in towards him, leans down on that stick, torques it up, and lets it go. Evans net front with Norris, and you can see Dobish just peering around the corner to spot that puck and make the glove save.
Face-off blocker side again on Dobish. Norris
versus Evans once more, and the Sabres win this to the line. Here's Dahlin. Under pressure from Demidov. Loose puck in the slot. Habs are going to skate it to center. Carrier feeds it ahead. Far side. Evans drives the middle. Shot. Scores! Game 7. Overtime winner. Alex Newhook has come through for Montreal, and the run stays alive off to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Incredible sequence for the Montreal Canadiens. It's a face-off win. The puck gets fed up into the neutral zone. Jake Evans follows it up. He drives the middle lane, kicks it out to Newhook, who has been deadly all series. I've seen him shoot this puck harder, but not much more accurate. As he takes a look, head up, and he spies the right corner, far right side. And Luukkonen misses it with his glove, and the series is over.
And Alex Newhook, who had the hottest stick against Buffalo, ends this series in Game 7 overtime. Yvon Lambert, Claude Lemieux, Russ Courtnall, and Alex Newhook. Game 7 overtime winning goals for the Montreal Canadiens.
You can practically hear the folks yelling in Newfoundland. 6 goals in the series. Game winner in Game 7 against Tampa Bay. Game winner in Game 7 against the Sabres.
He's already a cult hero back home on the Rock. He's solidified his legacy forever tonight with the Montreal Canadiens. 8:38 to go in the first overtime period. Buffalo outshoot Montreal 39-25. It does not matter. Newhook from Carrier is your official series winner tonight. As they go through the handshake at center ice. What a series, what a game tonight, JP. The only game of all 7 that's decided by 1 goal.
Well, 11 and final meeting of the season. And it took an extra half a period to do it with Alex Newhook coming out. We talked about it at the beginning with Philip Deneau and Zach Bolduc getting the Canadiens off to the start that they needed. And then Buffalo pushed back in a big way. But they were not able to knock the Canadiens out when they had them on the ropes. You get it to overtime, and you never know. It really just is that one shot that's going to count, and it ends up on Newhook's stick. Takes advantage of Evans going hard to the net. Pekka Luukkonen loses this puck, can't see it, and Newhook ends the series with a precise shot to the far right corner.
His 7th of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Time now. Let's listen to it again. I can't imagine anything else is going to be the play of the game tonight. Under pressure from Demidov. Loose puck in the slot. Habs are going to skate it to center. Carrier feeds it ahead. Far side. Evans drives the middle. Shot. Scores! Game 7. Overtime winner. Alex Newhook has come through for Montreal, and the run stays alive off to the Eastern Conference Finals. Alex Newhook with a goal that will live in folklore for the Montreal Canadiens for decades, perhaps centuries, maybe until the end of time, as this series reaches its final time tonight at 11:22 of the first overtime. Newhook with the game winner. Deneau and Bolduc, the 2 goals earlier on.